hoses and hydraulics and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I can almost see this happening where they say, you know what? I'll tell you what. He's taking this away. What do you say we help ourselves? And I'm sorry, but this thing sucks. And I can see where he would be upset. I would be too. And right now, he's got an RV. They towed it, but I'm convinced in my heart. I'm convinced they stole his generator. They did. Now this guy had nothing, so they're kicking him when he's down. He had nothing. It's not like this guy had a lot of money here. I mean, he's really hurting, and it just sucks. It really, really sucks. So here's the thing. What do we do about it?
Hey Tom, when I spoke to the guy, he wanted to come off as a good guy. Let's see if he'll come on and tell us what happened to the generator. Let's have Suze call him and see if he'll come on the air and we can talk to him.
If he says it's not there, it's funny because every time we talked to him, we said the guy wants to get his RV and he wants to get his engine. The guy never said, well, he doesn't have an RV. Besides, we saw it on the tape. I have it here, and I looked at it. And we saw where this RV had a generator. It was not affected by the fire, and now it's not there. So I'd like to call this. I'd like you to call him back and talk to him. I'm trying to find the original call. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding it.
I have the number. You want the number?
You know, I want to call him off the air first. Okay. And I want to ask him what happened to the generator, flat out what happened to it. You can clearly see it was removed. It wasn't ripped out. It was carefully removed. And this guy's getting ripped royally. Russ, I do know you have a lot of problems. I really do. I feel bad for you. And there's no doubt in my mind you were ripped off. Okay?
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much.
You were ripped off, and I went back slowly and went through all of the stuff that you sent us. And yes, indeed, there were places where you could clearly see the generator. When you asked about it, what did the guy tell you?
Well, he said the tow driver was there and was dropping it off. That's when I noticed my hydraulic system and everything gone. And then he puts a favor on the phone to me. The favor's like, man, what do you need? Some tools? I can buy, like I'm a fucking...
Okay. I was afraid this is going to happen. I nixed it. I got it. Okay. You can't say bad words, Russ, okay? You can't say bad words. 303-713-TALK. I had to nix you, okay, Russ? I can't get you back on now. I can't for a little while. He was quoting the guy. The bottom line is he's pissed off because he was ripped off. And I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. Now, Mark, what's going on with Sportsman Warehouse? What's happening?
Good morning, Mr. Martino. I'm at the Sportsman's Warehouse in Thornton, Colorado. I'm sitting in their parking lot.
And what's the problem,
this morning,
sir?
At 8:27 a.m., I received an email of an advertisement for fall hunting specials. I wanted to get a Vortex spotting scope that was advertised. Again, the email came out at 8:27. The store opens at 9 o'clock. I was down here at about 9:30. The whole store was empty, and they did not have the spotting scope in stock that I wanted. And I said, I want to buy that because you just advertised it. They said, well, we're already sold out. You can't be sold out from 8:27 in the morning to about 9:30 when the whole store is completely empty. I felt it was kind of a consumer fraud thing. I think that Sportsman's Warehouse is honorable. I think it's a very good company. I love to shop there, but they told me I'm welcome to go drive around and see if I can find one at another store, but it's hard for me to drive, and I'm here, and I wanted to get my stuff that was advertised.
All right, hold on, all right, so we can talk about this. A lot of people are lured in by ads, and we'll talk about what your rights are.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino. Now, Michael Brown at 2, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
He said he wanted a what? A laser?
Spotting.
What is a spotting scope?
It's basically like a telescope.
Oh. So you spot and it tells you how far it is and all that?
You can get them with rangefinders in them, yeah.
It's not weapon mounted. It's a spotting scope.
Did he say which one he wanted?
So it's something about vortex.
There's a vortex. There's only one. Oh, no, there is. There's a few.
Looking to save money this year? Look at Allstate.
I see a shitload of them in stock.
Protection you need at the low rates you want. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your
Man, you
expectations.
can usually buy it.
So what's the purpose of this scope? If you see game, you can...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that set them out.
Well, how's it different than binoculars?
It's on a tripod.
I see it.
Yeah.
It's on a tripod. It's designed for spotting. Okay.
So why not just like, oh, I see it.
Well, because that
Personal preference.
And what does it do? Does it just spot them and
it's a
tells
pretty
you?
high power. It's a pretty stable, excellent, excellent optics.
Does it say like it doesn't give you range?
You can
You
get
can
some
have
with
them
rangefinders in them,
rangefinder.
but typically not.
So that's different than looking through a gun scope.
Yeah, and not to mention it's much safer than just trying to spot with a scope.
Also, a lot of times you'll have two people on range. One will be in the spotting scope. The other will be on the weapon.
Yeah.
The spotting scope is saying 2 clicks left, 2 clicks up, 2 clicks down. You know, in other words, they
Hey,
help you
does
back
your
in.
do you have one?
No,
You don't?
no, I usually not. They were expensive. They've got, because, typically there's a lot of shake in there. Mine actually eliminates the shake inside there.
Here's the question: to pizza or not to pizza? I'm a fucking pizza whore. Fucking 42.
What now, man? Tomorrow.
Susie Woozy, we gotta treat our guest to pizza. I'm not sure we need the two. I'm not sure. Hold on, let's see.
I can't eat.
Okay, Mark's not gonna eat. Doc's not gonna eat. So you're gonna have some pizza. So the three of us, maybe, yeah, I'll kill my hands. So the three of us and you. So what? You want to just get one big one, and then we don't have to get it loaded if they don't want it. We can get like moderate, little extra cheese or whatever.
Well, I like them loaded pretty much.
Oh, you like
No,
loaded too?
but
Okay. Let's get what we usually get then, and then let's get a yeah, let's get a large. You're I can't wait to get into the meat, though. Here's the problem with the meat. I'm the only one who's going to eat it, because Griffin would eat it with me. My son would eat it with me. But I'm almost, during the week, Griffin's at college, my son's with someone. So it's me and Stephanie, and she won't touch it. She won't touch anything. It's like, so, because she keeps pretty pure. It's a pain in the ass. We have fun eating together, but let's put it this way, she won't care if I eat it. She looks at me like this when I'm eating something that's unacceptable. It's like this. Although she way better likes game way better than me going.
Oh, so she will eat meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up.
She'll eat meat. She'll eat chicken. She doesn't like red meat. She just doesn't like it. It's not that she has a moral thing. She just doesn't like it.
Just like however you watch it at home.
And I pretty much, to be honest with you, my body changed. I don't have a craving for red meat anymore like I used to.
Really?
I like your game. I love game. I love goose. I like
chicken, but I just, every now and then I want a steak. How about you, Mark? Do you still crave a steak now and then?
I eat more meat than I eat anything.
Okay. I used to be that way. Not anymore. Chicken I love every now and then a steak. And I still love it extra rare. And I love, you know what I really love, God? I'm really into these short ribs. God almighty, I love this.
Beef short ribs?
Yeah. God, I love them. And I barely cook. Oh, God.
We used to go out a lot. Literally, since COVID, we just got the habit of cooking everything at home. And we almost
Stephanie and I did the takeout a lot during COVID to support some of the businesses, and we loved it. But with just the two of us, we never cook.
Even now?
Yeah, we never do. It's hot and it's a pain. We go out every single night, just the two of us, because it's not that expensive. It's just two of us. It's quick and it's easy, and the house stays cool and clean. We just don't eat at home. In the morning, every now and then, we might have something, but. Now, the kids also, when I have the kids, they love going out. So that's their special treat with me. That's why I don't cook at home. It's not that they don't want to. That's what they do most of the time. So when they come with me, they like sushi and shit.
I love sushi.
This is a kids' weekend, and their wedding. Oh God, wedding kids is awesome. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. Sentry RV for your RV, recreational vehicle. We're talking about this terrible situation with this burned out RV. You know, Sentry RV has plenty of great deals on new and used RVs. In fact, I was going to go up there and approach them on helping this guy out with a screaming deal. In fact, man, I feel so bad for him. But to add insult to injury, they kick him when he's down. Now, I had him on the air, Mark, and I had to nix him. He said the F word when he was quoting. Tim, I got that. Shannon, I did get that. So, bottom line is this. Did you call him? Did you call him Deputy Doc again?
Yeah, I called up.
What's his name?
His name is Favor.
Favor?
Yes.
Okay.
And
what's the name of his RV?
Elite Towing.
Elite Towing. That's what it was.
And he's not in yet, but I left a message with them for him to call me as soon as he gets in.
Now, listen, I can't accuse him personally of stealing this generator, but I think someone there did. It's too much. It's not like they jumped the fence and did it. I mean, somebody did it right there, and they had tools. It wasn't torn out. And I'm just hoping I can get this guy to get on without swearing. Also, we have Kathy talking about Kurt's flooring from yesterday, and then we have Mark about the Sportsman Warehouse, and then other calls. So, Mark, I'm going to go to you next because I left off with you. Now, I want to tell you something about Sportsman's Warehouse and Target and other places.
Tom, may I interrupt? I just sent you a couple emails with a copy of the ad.
Okay.
You can see it.
Okay.
And I put one says opening day, the other says from Mark on the air now.
Okay. Now, here's what I want to tell you. When it comes to these chain stores, I went to battle years ago about this because what they would do is send a few scopes or a few items to each store, and then they would advertise this sale, and the stores would sell out almost immediately, or in some cases, some of the stores had none of them. Now, one thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to try to help you, by the way, but one thing I do need to talk about, because people have the wrong impression that if someone advertises something and they don't have it, that they're obligated to supply it, and they're not. They're just not. Now, if they do it as a pattern, the FTC can sometimes come in and fine them for that. But in order to do that, they have to find a pattern of these deceitful ads that just bait and switch or bait people with never intending to fulfill it. I think what we have here is a reputable company that made an ad and probably had a few items in each store, maybe none in your store, who knows. But the question is, can you get it fulfilled possibly online or somewhere else? If not, I just don't want you thinking, just so you don't waste a lot of energy, that you have this special right to get it because you got an email. You don't have to prove to me you got the email. I believe you. You don't have to prove to me they didn't have any. I believe you. But that doesn't endow you with special power to get it. The same goes with advertising mistakes. People think if people get a price wrong, that they have to sell it for that price, and they do not. But if it is a pattern and you can show it wasn't really a mistake, so on and so forth, you sometimes have a civil case. But of course, you're not going to go to court over this. You just want your scope. What model of scope? What model?
If I can get my... Well, I did ask them if they'd sell me. They have the same brand, but it has almost the identical functional specs, but it's double the price. They said if you'd sell me that one at the same price, it'd be okay, or just sell me the one I want. But it's called a Vortex Racer HD as in Hotel Delta.
Yeah, high def.
And it's a 20-60 by 85 spotting scope angled Vortex Razor HD. That's what it is.
Here's right now, that's $8.99 online. What were they advertising it for?
Well, $8.99, but I have difficulty doing that online stuff. That's why I just came down to the store to get my scope.
Listen, we can snag it's right now available, and they have a lot of them. I think 78. Listen, man, $899 right now online. So you see, it's difficult to say that they're baiting and switching when they can sell it to you. You do not have the ability right now to go online and get this one?
I might. I'd have to get some help to go online.
Well, how can we help? No, I'm serious. How can we help you?
If you're good, just give us all your information. I'll get on the horn with you, and I'll buy it for you. But, I mean, you're going to have to use your credit card.
Put your credit card in there. You can trust us. If you want to do that, man, we can do that.
Well, I'm comfortable with that, but if they would just drive one from another store over to this store, I could come down and pick it up, I'd be delighted. And listen, I'm not trying to get special rights.
I know you're not. I know you're not. It's clear. Hey, Mark, it's clear to us.
I don't want to throw rocks.
Mark, I know you don't. Mark, it's clear. Mark, don't worry about that. We believe you. I know you're not trying to make trouble. You're just a reasonable guy calling for help. So we'll go online and help you buy it, or maybe the store will. If there might not be any around here, we'll make a quick call. Suze, can we have somebody call over to a store and see if they can get one in for them? It's Vortex Razor HD 2060 by 85 spotting scope. I have it right here if you need the specs. But here's the thing. I know, listen, you don't sound like a pain in the ass. You sound like you want a scope. You can't find it. All right, we're going to try to help you. Now, Smarty Marty worked on this.
Real quick.
Yes.
Eviction ban. Guess what?
Extended.
No, Supreme Court shot it down yesterday.
The actual Supreme Court.
Yep, the actual
Supreme Court. Thank God that we do have a court that truly, truly knows what rights mean.
So for landlords out there, get them going.
But let's talk about it coming up, Mark. Get some details, okay? Smarty Marty,
yes,
you worked on this Kurtz flooring for Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that because I could not believe how bad the work looked. Kathy, she called yesterday, and
she's on the line, right?
Yeah, she sure is. Okay. And this guy, though, here's the problem with this. I don't see how the guy could make it right because it was so bad. She paid half, and she paid $3,500. She figures the floor was worth. She admits I disconnected Smarty by mistake. Doggone it. Hey, Kathy, you figure you got about $1,600 worth of goods, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Smarty Marty, what happened?
Yes.
Did you contact Kurt Payton?
I did my best, but he's been ignoring me.
Ah.
I sent him, I called, it went to voicemail, left him a voicemail. Sent him an email, did not respond. Called a third time, left another voicemail. And I offered that he can come on the show and say his side of the story. I didn't accuse him of anything.
Yeah, but now, you know what? When people ignore, we flush them out because
I know.
It tells us something. We do what we call light them up. We light them up.
And Kathy just presented me an email exchange between her and him.
From when?
Kathy, when did this exchange occur?
Is it the pictures that I just sent to you?
Yeah, but when did this happen? Since we talked on the radio?
Is Marty referring to what I just sent him just a few minutes ago?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I went on the 719 Contractors Facebook group to also say, hey, people listening, this is what this guy is doing, and here's the link to the Google review. And Curtis responded on there and completely filled it full of lies using the pandemic and supply chains to back up his excuses, which doesn't back up that he doesn't know how to do concrete and that he's not a carpenter. And I sent those over to Marty. And then he tried to play a race card on me, saying that my nanny wouldn't let in 2 men that were minorities when they actually showed up and used the bathroom and didn't do any work. And, it's a pretty sad situation. His response says it all.
Well, Kathy, we kind of knew we were going to have a problem. What do I hear in the background? Kathy?
On mine?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I heard something. What did I hear?
I'm not sure. I'm outside, and I have a toddler.
Oh, I was hearing some noise. I thought maybe I heard a horse or something. But anyway.
It might have been a toddler.
Okay. Listen, Kathy, you have your hands full. We're going to keep working on this by lighting this guy up. And listen, Deputy Smarty won't give up either. We'll keep trying.
Tom, here's my feeling on this. You know, he in his email to her, he claimed how wonderful he is, and he tries to appease everyone. So if it's true, why can't he come on the show?
Exactly. That's what we're going to present him. I'm sorry, Marty. I got to take this quick break. We'll come back and light him up.
Where is it? That's a picture of Russell's generator.
Yeah, where is it?
It's at the towing place. Favor said, come pick it up. It's right there.
Oh, my God. This is a wonderful follow-up.
Oh, my goodness. We found the generator. So here's the deal. When the RV was towed to his place, after 30 days, they start skeletonizing it, and because he wasn't there for 30 days. The generator was taken out. Russell finally got in touch with him. He said, I don't know, we didn't steal it. It's right here. Come and pick it up.
Yeah, I'll guarantee you they weren't going to volunteer that before this.
Oh, I think you're wrong. And here's the thing. Russell used to work for Wyatt's Towing.
Good.
So
Russell, disagree with me, Dan.
Russell thinks everybody is a crook because Wyatt's a crook.
Okay, but disagree with him because I'm going to say I think the only reason we found it is because. So you disagree, though, right?
Yeah, because and the other thing is, this guy he said, look, these tools were stolen. I told him I would lend him some tools.
All right. You believe him, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. The Art of Granite, Mitch Floria. I've known him for many years now. I remember when I first visited him and he told me how he does business. He said, Tom, wholesale on all materials. I'll do the bathroom free whenever they do the kitchen. And then I'm going to tear out and haul away free. And what I'd like is to give people prices on the phone. That all sounded to me like, wow, are you kidding me? And he's stuck to it ever since. TheArtOfGranite.com, 303-386-5919. There's a funny story about when I first visited him, but I don't have time right now. I might tell it to you in a minute or two. TheArtOfGranite.com.
It's too big sale.
So, Tom, why would they leave the generator in plain sight if they were trying to steal it?
Well, it's in plain sight now because he went over and took a picture of it.
Oh, you don't think...
I don't know if it was in plain sight or not.
Come on, this is not like, a 5-pound something. This is a big generator. You're going to move it around just to fool him? And they didn't know we were going to call. So why would they move it into plain sight, not knowing we were going to call?
It's okay, Deputy.
I don't know. They might have been listening to this radio.
It's okay.
Show and know that we coming for them.
All they have to do is go pick up the damn generator.
Deputy Dan believes him. Let him believe.
Deputy Doc.
I'm sorry. You both sound the same.
You guilt by association, huh? First letter of your name.
What's he thinking? He's thinking
that the guy was honest. He was going to tell him about your generator, but no one asked.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
now, because that sounds just a little fishy.
Yeah, that's how it went down, Doc.
Sounds like
just happened. Look, now, so he's going to show you a picture. It was out in the open.
Sounds like we've been talking about this for 3 days.
No, we don't even know where that is. That could be in the guy's shop. He pulls it out and takes a picture of it.
That is the most naive thing you've said.
No, he's that weird. He says, look, it's right here. I was going to give it to him. Just so happened.
I wanted to clean it. We wanted to make sure it was running properly.
Any jewelry store can sell you a diamond, but there's only one family jeweler in Colorado.
No, that's why I like having deputies, because Deputy Smarty does that too. He'll say, no, I don't think this guy was trying to do that. And it shows people, that truly, that they're talking to these people and getting a feel for it.
Your love. All the world's top bridal stars, 10 times certified loose diamonds at our diamond bar. And Denver's true diamond experts who will share their knowledge and passion on how to get the most diamond for your money guaranteed. So whether you're looking for perfect diamond engagement,
this guy on Fox right there, see that good-looking guy down there? That is an ex-Marine, and they call on him a lot. He's a contributor, and he's like buff and built from here up, and from here down, nothing's all mechanical because of what he lost at war. When they showed him sitting down there, I didn't realize that. I went, holy shit, he looks like a robot. His prosthetics are so high and so, he lost a lot.
If you're 65 or older, you're starting to get back to doing things you love.
We go to HD.
I have to correct you, though. There's no such thing as an expert.
Okay, former. Not even
Hey,
former.
Shannon, when we go to HD1 next week, what are we on right now? I thought we were on HD, just regular.
No, HD. We're on HD. This is HD1. It's HD plus 1.
So we're on HD. So we're going
HD1,
which is more
just one more.
Because the advertisement says KRFA Fox HD2.
But it's 1 per hour.
No, that's an HD.
1 per break.
We're talking about our clock.
1 per break, right?
I don't know, Marty, what he said, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I never actually, you want to know the truth, I'd never heard of HD1 until he put it in that email. Just like I never heard about fans only ever until you told me, and guess what? That night, there was a story on it, Fox News.
Fans only.
I never heard about it, ever. Or only fans, whatever.
It only affects you after 12, right? Band-Aid fixes are not the answer. Only a whole house repipe with brand new high-quality packs or copper will permanently solve the problem.
But only fans can comment or something like that?
No.
No, so they were going to get rid of porn.
But tell them what it is first. It's like a TikTok channel, except you have to subscribe to the person.
Yeah, you can
pay them.
So you set your own up, and you can actually set up a subscription where people pay you $5 a month,
and
then they have access.
They
to your
paid for you to be sitting there, maybe showing them how to basket.
Suzanne's cousin's daughter plays the violin nude.
Naked violin.
Remember how religious his family is too. She is like the black sheep.
I was gonna do naked jumping jacks.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I'd have too much moving around, Jack.
That could hurt.
Hi. Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, let's get to the phones and help people because Russ. Guess what?
What?
You had a burned out RV. You used to live in it. It was in a salvage yard. You wanted to get your stuff out of it. He said, no, you can't work on it there. He said, but if you find somewhere to tow it, we'll let you tow it there, and I'll even tow it free. We thought, well, that was good. Deputy Doc thought, he sounds like a nice guy. So then you had it towed to a place where you could get your generator and your engine and whatever else was salvageable. But your generator was missing. And I said, that seems strange that your generator is missing, especially because it was there in your videos at the yard. So we called over there to, what's the name of the place?
Elite Towing.
Elite Towing, and talked to Favor.
Favor is willing to come on at 12 o'clock.
Now listen to what happened. Listen. They found it. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
They said it was...
yeah.
Russ, they said it was outside your RV the whole time. So let's be fair.
Yeah. See, now I want to make this clear. We all are being very cynical, but Deputy Doc has a different view. Go ahead.
I think he's going to come on at the 12 o'clock break, and we'll talk to him, and you can tell me, you can ask him whatever you want.
I want to know what you think.
I think he's for real.
And you thought he never intended to steal it.
Right.
Because as soon as you called, he said, here it is.
Exactly.
He wanted to pull it out and clean it and get it buffed up.
Here's what I want to know. Had we never called about it, would he have told Russ, come and get it?
Of course. Now you're talking about hypotheticals. You can't answer that question.
Hey, Russ, what do you think? I don't know. I don't want to call the guy a thief.
We would have never gave it to him.
Well,
we're going to get it for you.
Be on the air
it's there,
at 12.
and you can pick it up. But we're going to get him on. No, he can give his side, and I will respect him. Deputy Doc seems to think we should be cynical here.
Plumbing problems can make...
That's loud.
That was funny. He goes, yeah.
I know. How long is this break?
Why don't you ask Russ when he was working?
6 minutes for sure.
Ask Russ when he was working for White's Towing if he stole anything.
You got it on the in-house mic?
Oh, my goodness, Mike. That's the one on the...
No, just in-house. So they can hear us. Hold on, what am I looking for? What the fuck is it?
Your gate pass. Alright. Oh, now let me see if I can make it down here and back without falling apart.
I don't know how else you would do this. Doc, that was so funny, man.
Well, after you when he's on the air and you talk to him.
Oh, I don't care what he says. I mean, there's no way they wanted that generator.
Do you remember one time we were...
Wait a second.
One of the funniest moments we had on radio was Doc and I were discussing something, disagreeing on something, and I said something like, you should be ashamed of yourself as a Jewish doctor. And he says, I'm not Jewish. It was something I thought was unusual, and I thought he would stick up for the downtrodden or something.
I'm only Jewish from the waist down.
And I said, who is he? Star Quality, that's right. Steve the painter. Yeah, I was trying to, his email store. He is so good. He's done so much work for us. He's not cheap, but...
he's actually, I disagree. I think he's fairly...
Not cheap, though.
No, he's not, like, cheap, like someone at Home Depot cheap, but he's, for...
You've used him?
Oh, numerous times. For
he's a perfectionist.
For the quality of work, I think he actually is very inexpensive.
Yeah, right. What he does, man, he does so much prep.
Or does he do exterior, like ceiling?
Yeah, he'll do whatever you want. He's so good. He is so fucking good.
if you want like really great job. Home equity is lost to wholesalers each year by owners of houses that need love. What does that mean? Oh,
Be bitching about it.
this guy is saying that people are selling their houses too cheap to wholesalers. I think they know what they're doing. They want the fuck out of the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people are big boys. Especially if they're hoarders and shit, man. God dang it, I cannot find this Hessy's answer.
What do you mean? I don't see it as a wholesale scam. If you sell it and you're satisfied, you sell it. I mean, what moron wouldn't get more than one offer?
Oh, hey, Faber. What was that?
I just shot you a screenshot of my phone so you because we delivered that thing to him on Saturday, and if you see on my phone, because I sent a message to my guy saying, hey, where's this generator? And you can see he sent me a picture of the generator that Sunday.
So he has.
Was he just out and out lying?
So Russ has a generator?
No. Listen, Saturday night we towed the vehicle back for him to his buddy's place or whatever.
Right.
He called me at like at 10 o'clock at night and said, "Man, my generator's missing. What the hell's going on?" I said, "What?" And then he said, "Yeah, this is what's going on." I said, "Okay, let me find out because more than likely they were stripping that thing down so we can send it to the crusher. Because if you recall, I told you we have to take that crap off in order to go to the crusher. They're not going to take generators."
Right.
And I called my guy. I said, "What the hell?" I called him that night. I said, "Hey, what the hell's going on? This guy's generator is missing. What happened?" He said, "Let me find out. I think they probably pulled it." Then he sent me a text picture the next day, which is Sunday. You can see on my screenshot that I sent you. And he said, yes, they had pulled the generator out. It was sitting next to the RV. And when the driver hooked up to the RV, he didn't know that was part of it. He just towed the thing because it was burnt to a crisp.
That sounds honest to me.
So you can see we have the generator sitting next to the RV because you can see all the parts from the RV that has fallen down on that.
All right.
And we took and that's what it was. We didn't take the. I mean, what the hell are we gonna even do with the generator? But I just want you to know the reason I sent you the screenshot is you can see that next day.
I can see why
Sunday,
he believes this guy.
My guy went down there and took a picture of the generator that was sitting in the lot next to where his RV was.
Great. I'll show Tom the screenshot.
And I'll come on at 12.
Good.
I'll explain. We're not crooks, man. We're not crooks. But
okay.
I understand you deal with people like that, but I'll come on and
this guy sounds good.
Great. We'll talk to you at 12, Favor. Thanks for calling.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened. They were taking the shit out to keep, and then when the guy, him and Hobbs are giving it back. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's not a bad.
Why did it take all?
What else would they do?
What I want to know is why they're taking it out anyway.
Because
they had to crush it, but
because they wanted it. I mean, if you're going to crush it, aren't you going to take out the nice shit?
No, and they won't take it with things like a generator inside. You've got to get
it could blow the fuck up.
You got to get through all the fuels and oils and everything else. But why does it take all week? Because you guys have been talking to this guy all week, right? Or longer than that, in all actuality.
But what he's saying there is...
they delivered this thing, and the guy's been complaining since Saturday.
And now
now all of a sudden on Friday the thing appears?
Yeah, that's a little wild. And he just acknowledged it on Sunday.
Yeah, but you've had multiple conversations with him.
But listen, if Doc and Tom think the guy's golden, the guy's golden.
Hey, are we allowed to have an opinion that doesn't agree with yours?
And if
Mr.
I
Major?
think he has never, ever done anything wrong ever in his life, that's okay.
I heard he never even cussed. Not one cuss word, including the S word.
By the time he gets done with us, he's going to make it sound like we're fucking the guy. I'm telling you.
Which guy?
You have to subscribe to their channels.
Doc's giving them a reach around.
We're still talking about that. Huh? Okay.
Mark, when he's on the air, you can ask him whatever questions you want.
I guarantee I will.
I know you will.
That makes no sense. Well, why are we going to deal with this for a week?
But
But I got to say this for him. Once we called him out, he stepped right up. There's no doubt about it. A lot of these guys in that business don't. Oh.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255, here to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. This hour brought to you by WaterPros.net. Paul the Waterman. I can't tell you enough about these systems, and I'm telling you, in my home, the only system I trust, no fear-mongering, accurate information about your water. But everyone needs filtration nowadays with lead and everything else in your water. You can do a fountain for drinking for under $1,000. You can do a whole house system for filtering under $2,000. You can do filtering and softening through the whole house for just $3,400. Listen, you got to check him out, waterpros.net. You can trust me when I tell you about stuff. In fact, what I invite you to do is call me back after you've tried these and let me know how it worked out. It's the only show anywhere you can do that. About their advertisers, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we have Dee on the line about moving and Tim on the line about title insurance, I believe. Dee, you sent pictures, and I can't believe that this happened. This damage is pretty blatant, but is there more than just one or two items, Dee? Was everything damaged? Tell me the story.
I don't know.
What?
At least.
Where was she moving to and from?
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Where were you moving to and from?
I lived in Aurora and actually listened to you almost every day for 11 years and learned a lot.
Well, thank you.
I moved a little. Thank you. I moved a little less than a year ago. I moved in September to Texas because I'm 76. I'm on oxygen, very strong, 24/7. And the mountains were hard for me to breathe. So I moved to lower altitude.
I can see that.
On a side note, can you breathe a lot better in Texas? Could you get off the oxygen?
Oh, no. I have a...
So when did you move?
September.
In September of last year, right?
Yes, and that's where now I am just desperate. I have not solved the claim.
Okay, but when you moved, who did you use?
L&L in Denver.
L&L Moving. Yes. Now, what did they do wrong in a nutshell?
Everything.
All right. Let's take it one step at a time. Did they charge more than they said they would in the beginning?
No.
Good.
No.
Okay,
no.
But they damaged things. Now, what are they saying about the damage? Are they saying they did not do it?
They're not admitting, and I've sent them so many photos, but they haven't accepted them. And part of it is my responsibility. I have been too ill, Tom. I'm very ill. I'm terminal. I know that.
Dee, we all are actually, but I know what you're saying. What condition do you have?
I have a very serious, rare autoimmune condition that hardens every cell in my body, and it has hardened my lungs so the air doesn't get to my heart, and my heart...
Oh, my goodness, you better stay free from COVID.
I don't go anywhere. I can't.
Hey, Dee,
yes.
What about the stuff? Now, I want to know. I'm asking you something, and I truly want to put this in perspective, okay? I noticed you had some cracked things and some scratched things, and I'm asking you at this point in your life, how important in other words, is it worth the hassle? I'm not suggesting we let these people go and not do anything, but really, is there anything truly that damaged that it'll make a difference?
Well, Tom, when you get to be like I have, you put things in perspective, and all of these things we will leave behind. I realize that.
And I'm not just saying, Dee, don't worry about it, you're going to die. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there anything that's truly affecting your life right now, the quality of your life, or are you just angry because they were careless?
Both. I have some family antiques. I have two marble top tables that were just smashed, the marble, not the wood part. And I have things that I just can't use. But the stress has not helped my health at all.
Well, yeah, but that stress is all how you look at it. Right now, you're in Texas. Are you settled in? Did you, I mean, is there anything...
Well, I'm living here. I don't have the strength to fully unpack everything. No, I'm not. I don't have my pictures up on my wall.
How much are they offering you?
Do you have people there to help you?
No, and that's my problem. I'm new down here.
Why did you choose that particular place to move to?
Well, actually, I've lived here. I got married here. I graduated from college here.
So do you have any relatives down there?
Not that really can help me that live close enough. I have a few of my husband's things that are very important for me to pass down to my children. One is a very large, about a 3-foot original oil painting, because we lived in Spain 14 years. And it was not wrapped at all. I saw it come off the truck. They laid it on the ground, and it has several big gashes. One is 2 and one is 3 inches. Now, original oil painting.
On the actual canvas? Canvas?
Yes, you can stick your fingers through it.
Okay.
And I want to pass that to my family.
D.
It was their father's.
Okay. I get it. I do.
Now, I can live without it. I mean, I'll go to heaven without that. I can't take it with me.
D, what about the, did you get insurance on this move?
No.
Okay.
I was not wise. I trusted them. They sounded so good.
Sometimes insurance isn't that great either, but I want to explain some harsh realities to you.
Well, they have insurance, and it pays me 60 cents a pound.
That's what the harsh reality was. There's nothing you can do about it. You agreed to that.
I know that. I'm not trying to get them to change
I understand that. So on a painting, for example, how much does that painting weigh?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 20 pounds. I don't know.
Well, if they take now here's the crazy part. If you claimed that it was a total loss, let's just take that as an example. So you say 20 pounds, right? Here's what happens. If they give you money for the whole thing, they get to take it. So if you take 20 times 60 cents, they would write you a check for $12, but you have to hand over the painting.
I didn't know I had to hand over the painting.
If they total it, you do. If they fix it, you don't, or pay you partially. So if you have, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time again, I have to explain the harsh realities. You agreed to 60 cents a pound because it's in there. These movers aren't stupid. So if one of your tables, let's even take a table, 75 pounds times 60 cents, you're going to get $45. What I'm asking, when all is said and done, they're not going to replace the emotional damage and the trauma or any of those attachments. The only thing you're going to get is pure hard cash if you get it. And if you do, it'll be 60 cents a pound. So the whole... It's not even worth it, because even if we show they're 100% do you just want to get an apology? I mean, what good, for example, let's just say when all's said and done, you get a check for $600. Would that satisfy you?
It would take a lot of stress off if I could send somebody to the home and just say, go in and fix everything.
No. And no one's going to fix everything for $600. If you got it, what I'm saying is at 60 cents a pound, you're not going to get a lot of money.
That's true.
So if let's put it this way, 1,000 pounds of damage. If 1,000 pounds were damaged, you're looking at $600. Would a $600 check change your life? Were you thinking we were going to call and force that company to replace what they broke? That will never happen. A piece of marble, that will never happen. They won't do it. They won't do it. So if you signed a contract agreeing to 60 cents a pound, what I'm telling you and what I was alluding to in the beginning is that you're wasting a lot of time for ultimately a very small payout. Now,
you're helping put this in perspective, Tom. Thank you.
And again, I'm not trying to let these guys get away with anything. I plan on having someone call them and see if they plan on doing anything. But you've been at this for a year. What was your ultimate goal?
That's the problem.
What was your ultimate goal, Dee? What were you thinking would make you happy? Seriously, what would make you happy?
The problem has been, for me, the stressful part. I don't have the physical strength or the computer skills to attach the pictures in a claim form like they want. If they would let me, and I have maybe 100, 200 photographs, if I could just write on the back.
They won't let you do that, but we can help you fill out the claim. But what I'm asking you is, to what end? If we fill out these...
No, I guess it's just the best to forget it. I don't know.
You know what, Dee? I know that it's not fair, but unfortunately, you didn't have the right insurance going into this. And right now, if we take the time to carefully fill out a claim form, and we put the pictures in there with captions, this is a marble table. It was cracked and destroyed. It weighs 150 pounds. Okay, they're going to look at that, and if they accept it, then you're going to get what? You're going to get $80 or $90. So
I couldn't replace it for that.
Of course you couldn't. In fact, it's not going to be worth the trouble. So, Dee, it may not feel good saying, you know what, this is not worth pursuing, but the God's honest truth is it's not worth a day of your time to worry about this, and you've been stretching this out for a year. Now, if it makes you feel good, we'll let people know about it. We'll call them.
I tell you, it would make me feel good if everybody knows and learns a lesson from me.
That would be good, and then we can call L&L Moving. Now, they're out of Denver?
I believe so. I mean, they may be Lakewood. I don't know for sure, but they're Denver.
Do me a favor, Dee. Do you have your contract? In other words, do you have email?
Yes.
Can you email us? Do you know how to email us your contract?
I can take a picture of it with my camera.
That's all I need. I need the letterhead. Suze, let's get a letterhead. Let's get that, and let's warn people, and at least let her get some satisfaction. And maybe they'll do something, but Dee, you got to start living. And what I'd like to do is maybe try to get a church group or somebody who can help you get organized there.
That's a good idea. This furniture looks so old.
I know.
It's crazy old. It's like my grandmother's grandmother's furniture.
Or she should have thrown away.
Like not worth shit.
Are
you talking about hers, Mark?
Yeah, like you could go to ARC and get this shit.
In other words, you've seen it?
I'm looking at the
The Art of Granite, Mitch Floria. I told you I was going to tell you a funny story about when I met him. You know, the Art of
Granite, he really is proud of how he does business. Wholesale on everything he supplies you. He only charges for the actual fabrication and installation, and that's by the square foot. So he can pretty much give you an accurate price on the phone, theartofgranite.com. And although it says granite, he does all solid surface, all natural stone. He's a direct stone importer. He likes people to know that he serves the whole Front Range and the mountain communities. He's open 6 days a week, closed Sunday, and he has a showroom in Golden. You can make an appointment. Contact him at theartofgranite.com or call for your price, and then go see him, 303-386-5919. And I will tell you that funny story coming up.
If you're missing
more teeth, you probably miss what it felt like to eat whatever you want, smiling photos.
I now understand why or how the CDC claimed to have the power for the moratorium.
Because people moving out would cause a risk of spreading COVID, right?
Well, I'm not talking to whatever logical.
And when does it go away? If they struck it down, when does it actually?
They did strike it down.
I know, but when does it go away? When can you
I think you can right now.
It's no longer legal for cities and states to prevent eviction.
Now, but listen, here's where they got. This is very curious. So if you go back to the early 1900s, people were coming over from all kinds of squalor, whether it was from Ireland, anywhere. They were coming over bringing disease, bringing different shit. So the CDC was given the power by Congress to be able to go in and fumigate different areas if they wanted to. Go in with insecticide. They were given that power by Congress. And that is what they extrapolated the power to be able to use insecticides in certain areas.
Why is that?
What do you mean, why is it?
How did they correlate?
I have no idea. Well, they correlated it because that was, they're stopping spreading of disease.
It was an emergency power.
Yeah, so they're saying, but they're going, how that translates into a landlord can't kick out a tenant just makes no fucking sense.
How did the Supreme Court?
Supreme Court was 5-3. No, there's how many members are
It was
there?
6-3.
6-3. Wait, no, I could have sworn it said 5-3.
Aren't there 9? One could have abstained.
Yeah, one might have abstained.
I thought it was a 6-3 vote.
Yeah. It was either 5-3 or 6-3. But they're like that. We just can't make that jump. I mean, how do you make that fucking jump?
Okay, so.
But here's what they've said forever. They said, you know how you could make that jump, and that's why we kept putting it off, you dumbasses. Congress could pass something. But we have given you all the time in the world, Congress, to pass something, and you guys won't do it because they know they could never pass it. Can you imagine if they pass it, you don't have to pay your fucking bill? I mean, it would be the most crazy shit ever.
Why do they call
But even
this?
then, that's against the Constitution.
Why do they call this?
Well,
Why?
they said they don't know how they vote on it, but at least they were giving Congress time to try to do
Well, no,
something.
but even then, it's still illegal for the government to get involved inside the a personal contract to an individual.
I agree with you 100%.
But Congress can give the CDC the power to do that.
They could give the emergency power, but they were saying that's still a stretch. But we've given you time to at least do that.
Only an 8-page opinion. That's what we
Well, I'll tell you why, because they've said the same thing every time. But they've also had the caveat, it's expiring in 15 days, so we're not going to fuck with it.
Vacate that stay, rendering the judgment.
And then finally they got sick again, okey doke.
One of Denver's best roofers is currently hiring for experienced project managers.
The CDC relies.
So of course some of these people now are calling. They're attacking the court like you can't believe it.
Really attacking the court.
Yeah.
It's strange credibility to believe that the statute grants sweeping authority. They pretty well spanked them.
Well, but when they give that exact example, they're going, hey, they're using this particular thing in 19 whatever, and it has to do with fumigation. I mean, how you
Did you read the
that?
actual decision?
I started to. The actual decision is not what you think, because all they're doing is reiterating other decisions they've already made.
No, they're actually interpreting.
For you, by you.
Go back to one. She has a good idea.
It all ends September 7th. Denver's Talk Station, 6:30.
It actually is rendering some judgment here.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Also coming up, we will discuss the eviction ban and the Supreme Court's decision, which I have been digesting. Okay, now, Dee is the one that was just talking to us about her move. She's in her late 80s. She has a terminal illness. She has some damaged goods. And I said, look, Dee, even at best, if you find them guilty, they have to give you 60 cents a pound. I mean, and that at 1,000 pounds, that would only be $600 if everything was destroyed. 1,000 pounds. D, what? And you were going to give us a copy of your contract. We were going to let other people know about L&L moving.
I'll send it to you today.
But she had a good suggestion.
What suggestion did you have, D?
Well, I was going to go with their insurance, but I did have homeowners. I sold that home now, but it was covered at the time of the move. I think, would they cover moves?
Some of it. Some of it might be. Let's get on our people to find that out.
What company did you have, D?
Progressive, I think.
You know what? They'll know. They'll know. Brian will know that most of that coverage.
We'll call Compass and see, because, you know, moving is covered in some circumstances. So that might be one way to look at it.
You know, it seems too easy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the answer is going to be good, but we need to find out. It just seems too easy. How come we haven't thought of that? Damn it, D, if you thought of something I didn't, I'm going to be upset.
You know, it did cross my mind when she was speaking about moving, but I remember talking about it in the past.
Just last Friday on another moving call, remember?
Exactly.
We had Brian Burns on to talk about it.
Yeah, let's get him on again, because I don't remember exactly what we talked about. Tim, what's happening?
Hey, Tom, you had helped me a few weeks back with a small estate affidavit.
Yes.
I was trying to cash in an insurance policy through Transamerica.
Yes.
And you showed me how to do that. I'm very grateful. I got it notarized. I sent that in with a death certificate, being told that that's the only paperwork I needed to cash out the policy, and now they're saying I need more and more. And I spoke to them yesterday, and it's more paperwork, even though I've been promised that I filled out all the paperwork.
Who is deceased on this?
Oh, my father passed away December.
You know, listen,
2020.
I know this sounds crazy, but these jerks try to hold on to that money every minute they can, okay? And
I was going crazy. I couldn't believe it.
Well, all insurance are made up of liars, cheats, and ripoffs, okay? It's the nature of the business. It's just the nature of the business. They're money grubbing, and they try to hold the money as long as possible, and they are the exact opposite of what they should be, which is protecting and helping people. They're just the opposite. Now,
and to really prove what you just said, most states, because these people are so bad and try to rip people off, they'll slap them. If you bring a lawsuit, you can get treble damages. If it wasn't for the treble damages and that ability to go after it, they would virtually never pay. They would have nothing ever to lose.
Now,
I'm in a hospital myself right now, and I need the money when I get out of the hospital.
How much is the policy?
It's very small. It's only $3,700.
What?
And
wait a minute. What kind of a person only has $3,700 on a policy?
We went through this last time, Tom, and I said there was a bigger policy and then there was a smaller policy, and it didn't make sense.
Got it. All right. It's okay. It's okay. So you got him a death certificate. You got him a small estate affidavit.
Yeah, I got him a deceased owner change form, so the thing was in my name.
Well, you don't even need that if you're the beneficiary. I don't understand a deceased owner's death form. You're not continuing the insurance.
Well, my father had it. My father had the policy, and he was leaving it to me, so I had to switch. When he passed away, I had to switch the owner of the policy to me so I could cash it out.
All right. There are other ways of doing it, but that's okay. What do they say they need? What do they say they need now?
I swear my head was going to explode. Like I said, I couldn't believe they were asking for more.
What do they need now?
Send me more paperwork. They said I still need a copy of the deceased owner's death certificate, which was illegible. They said they couldn't read it.
That's a common trick. That's a common trick. So they want you to send the death certificate again. What else?
Copies of the letter of administration, letters testamentary, or other applicable court document which appoints the administrator, executor, or representative of the deceased owner's
You see, they're just what they're hoping is that you go away.
Yeah.
So why not just play the game and give them what they want?
Well, it just never ends. This has been going on since like March.
I wouldn't say it's never going to end. Look, to hire an attorney would be ridiculous because they're going to take most of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, well, I don't even know if bad faith is apropos here since you're not the one with the contract. I don't think bad faith applies here. If it did, then I would say get an attorney involved. But I don't, is Blake Harris around? Here's what I would do. Until you hear from us again, but we're going to get Blake Harris on. I want you to comply. Just put that stuff together. Build your case, okay? And keep track of everything you're sending him. Suze, I'd like to get Blake Harris. Tim, hold on, and we'll try to get him on if we can for just a few minutes to address this. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, that funny story about the Art of Granite. So I'm going out to meet Mitch Floria. Hiram at the time was the sales rep who was talking to him about advertising with iHeart, and he said, I think Tom Martino would be a good fit. I'm on my way out there, and I had to pee so bad I was racing to get there because I had to go so bad. If it ever happened to you, it's almost like I thought maybe I should stop at the side of the road, but I was so close, and I was so hurting. And I run in, I say, and they introduce him. Hey, Mitch, blah, blah, blah. I shake his hand. I say, hi, Mitch. It's so nice. He says, listen, before we start our meeting, could I just run to the men's room, run to the restroom? He says, oh, I'm sorry. None of the restrooms around here they're working on the sewer. Everything is shut down. And I went, huh? I couldn't concentrate. And then they said, well, let's sit down for a few minutes. And then I'm starting to break out in a sweat. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I got to go. So I figure I know the bathroom has a sink in it. So I didn't do it. I was thinking. So
you did.
No, I didn't. I was thinking. So I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I went. I said, can I wash my hands? Just so I could get in there. And
it's all drains. It all goes to the same
he said
place.
You can't use the sink. We can't use any plumbing. So I thought, okay, this is a problem. I says, you know what? While you guys were talking, I really like familiarizing myself with the place. I want to see your yard, the granite yard. And, you don't have to show. I just want to take a quick look and take my camera. I'll be right back. And then, of course, somewhere on the Art of Granite's lot is my DNA. Do they have DNA? I don't know. In P, I don't know. But anyway, that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. 303-713-TALK.
On that life insurance, as a beneficiary, I would say, we got to ask an attorney, but I can't imagine why they couldn't bring the suit. They are in that contract, in other words.
I don't know if it's bad faith if you're not contracted for the coverage. So I don't know. I will have to ask. Anyway, 303-713-8255.
You're a beneficiary, Mark, but I don't know. I just don't know.
We were in Hawaii going on a snorkeling trip. So we were on a small boat. This is 2 years ago. And there was a bunch of fucking dolphins and shit.
Oh, he did one? What was it?
Yeah.
So the dolphins and shit took forever, so we ended up just peeing on the boat.
Oh, did you?
What do? You literally do start sweating.
Oh, no, it's terrible. Peeing is terrible.
It feels like you fucking die.
God, I hate it.
I wonder what happens if you just eventually. How about if you just kept holding it? Can you rupture something?
No. I want to tell you something. As an older man, you don't have this problem. If you hold it a very long time,
it just comes out.
No, it's difficult to come out. It's difficult.
Oh, it's like, yeah, you cause a problem. Almost like constipation.
Well, you think it just closes down.
Well, how do you reopen?
Well, no, you have to sit down and relax. You have to relax. There have been many men that go to urgent care and emergency rooms. One urologist told me that end up having cats that they needed because they got so nervous. They were nervous. It's
so when they go to the hospital, they just catheterize.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting a brand new HVAC system. You just heard from Jeff Vick, Kimmer
Transmission, about parts, electronic parts. Well, that's happening in all walks of life, especially in furnaces and air conditioners. Now, George, my friend and owner of Fix It 24/7, has stocked up on parts to make repairs and also on systems. They're offering special financing even to get people through this rough time. If you have an older system, you don't think it'll make it much longer, now's the time. System starting at just $77 a month. That's with special financing they've set aside. So find out more, fixmyhome.com, Fix It 24/7. I'll give you the number. But they're also doing, of course, repair and maintenance as well. But they've done everything they can to avoid supply chain shortages. Fixmyhome.com, 720-526-3939.
Trees make you feel good, and the Tree Farm's 50-cent tree sale will make you...
He did this. Is this one we talked? He did this too, right? Yeah. You know, he did another one like what was it? That was so.
Yeah, but this one's the best. This fucking one. I'd actually go see this guy in concert.
Well, T-shirt.
That and Cars with Kids.
Oh God!
We could have all of them. Like, what is that? 2.5 Men. Remember, Charlie actually did tunes for kids.
Oh, man. Yeah. He took over the class one time. He's
the best. You know why he played that part so good? That's him, man. I mean, he is a fucking lush.
Oh, yeah.
Who is?
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
He's not anymore. See, what does he do now, by the way?
Remember, he got sued, man. He gave, like, that chick AIDS and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, he was fucking porn stars, like, constantly. That was his thing. Porn stars.
Did you see the old 70s porn stars being hit up on freaking sexual assault charges?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Ron Jeremy's been in prison for a year. I didn't even know it.
I just saw it the other day.
I just saw it, too. He's been there a year.
Wait,
$6 million bond he can't come up with.
You didn't know when he stopped answering your text?
What was he in jail for? What was he in jail for?
Holy shit, dude. Anybody, like, whoever fucking knew him has come forward. Rape. Like, rape, child molestation. If you fucking name it, he's got like 100 counts.
Was he a big porn star? Big one? Like,
I think he's the only male porn star I could ever name would be Ron Jeremy. Like literally, I mean, that's I don't even know if there's anybody bigger.
Wait, what's the name of the guy who was in with Linda Lovelace? Wasn't he a famous porn star? The guy who made all those movies with her.
First of all, Linda Lovelace is like older than my grandmother. She's still alive. I've never seen her in a porn.
Peter, I'm just.
Who the fuck is she?
Oh, come on.
Did you ever hear of her?
I heard the name because doesn't she live in Colorado and she came out against the porn industry?
Yeah, but there was something. Why did she get famous?
Deep Throat.
Deep Throat.
Okay.
But the only reason, once again, I know this is because of she like went opposite or something years ago.
The male porn star who was in that apparently was fairly famous in the 70s. I know what you're talking about. His name is not coming to me.
What a biz to be in. Fuck that, man. That just seems like the wrong business.
Well, if you're a sex addict, it's a way not to get arrested.
God.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with sex.
No, you can tell by his charges. He was just, he was into. I mean,
well, how about
the amount of rape charges.
Byron Whitehorn, who was out on bail.
Who?
Harry Reams.
Byron, he used to work here.
Harry Reams, that's it.
Byron, you don't remember? He worked here.
What did he do?
He was pretty good too. He was a sales guy.
Is he the one that with the Uber or something? Yeah. Holy shit!
Byron. I mean, Byron used to sell a lot of my endorsements. He was big on the endorsements.
No, you were shocked when you heard that news.
And he was also, I've had him
what did he do, though?
I've had him at my house, and he was like...
What did he do? I remember it had something to do with an Uber or Lyft.
The stories were all the same. I always knew he was like a player, but then he was married. But he would pick up girls at a bar, talk him into, he'd give him a ride home, or he'd be outside, they'd mistake him for Uber a couple times, somebody said.
Oh,
but if the girls were drunk, he was really a nice guy.
He's a fucking predator.
He'd sweet talk him, and then they all told the same story. He forced himself on him. But listen, he made no qualms. He'd either take him to his house or he'd go to their house, but he never hid his identity. I mean, he would like, hey, I'll call you again. I mean, I think he's a sociopath where he believed they were into it, and he didn't understand the.
Even though they're crying in the corner.
Well, but I don't know if it was like that, like violent, like shut up, bitch. I don't think it was like that. I think he. He was like holding them, or thought it was erotic or something, or thought they wanted it, because sometimes he
was legitimately nutty.
He tried to contact them again.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Blake Harris, attorney at law, is with us to help us out. We certainly appreciate his time. Blake does estate law. BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. The reason I bring all this out is because anybody can call him with questions. Blake, this is just the pain in the ass, man. I'll tell you, this guy says he's done everything. It's a lousy $3,700 policy. And he said they're just screwing him around. Tim, can you now, I don't want to get into a bunch of stories and exaggeration, but here's what I want to know. Your dad dies, and you know he has a policy. So you contact them first or what? What was just give me the chronology without all of the ins and outs.
They mailed it to my brother. My brother mailed it to me. I'm in a hospital, like I said.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about in the very beginning. How did you make your first claim? Were you named as the beneficiary?
Okay, there were 4 brothers for the big policy. We split it 4 ways. This smaller policy for the $3,700 was left to me and only me because I guess my father.
Okay, were you the beneficiary? Were you the beneficiary?
No, I had to. Well, yes, I was the beneficiary.
And did it say, okay, so you were named as the beneficiary, and you contact Transamerica.
It was a $100,000 policy, but it only accrued or whatever $3,700 so far. But I'm cashing it out because I need the $3,700.
So what do you mean you're cashing it out? He died. You don't have a choice when you have a life insurance policy.
You could still pay payments on it and let it grow.
Tim, I think you're mistaken. I think this policy you're talking about, your dad took out for you, and then you were the owner I think he owned the policy on you and then allowed you to take it over when he died.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like to me, because you had the choice of making the premiums and keeping this policy, right?
Yes.
But you decided instead you wanted the cash value, which was $3,700.
Correct.
Yeah, because no one buys an insurance policy for $3,700. So that was the cash value. Got it. That's a whole different story, Tim. That's a whole different story. Let's make it simple. It really has little to do with the death, except he was the owner, and now you want to be the owner so you can get the cash value. So Blake, that's what it is. The dad left him a policy which was actually on him, and he wants to cash it out for cash value, but the insurance company is saying, wait a minute, you have to be the owner in order to cash it out. So they asked for you to send a death certificate, right?
Yes.
What else did they want?
To complete the change of ownership form.
Okay.
And then all that legalese I mentioned at the end of the last
but before this, you sent them change of ownership, and you sent them a death certificate. What else? And then now they want more, right?
Yes.
All right. And you say they keep throwing up roadblocks. In the latest letter, they said the death certificate is unreadable, and they said you had to send some other stuff. What was the other stuff?
Copies of the letter of administration, letters testamentary, or other applicable court document, which appoints the administrator, executor, or representative of the deceased owner's estate.
Okay. So, Blake, why are they giving him such a hard time?
Okay. Well, I'm going to take this from a slightly different angle and just give him the information he wants, as opposed to getting into why they're giving him a hard time, if that's okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So what you do, first step, send them a small estate affidavit. You can use that in lieu of the letters of testamentary. You can use that in lieu of the court order. If they reject that, before going through probate, the next step that I have done and had success with this is having an attorney write a letter that says, explaining to the insurance company that they have to accept the small estate affidavit, and their failure to accept the small estate affidavit will result in them being liable for the cost of probate. And then after that point, I've seen with success that banks, financial institutions will fold.
Hey, Blake, on as kind of a secondary note,
he doesn't handle those, but okay, go ahead.
If someone's a beneficiary of a life insurance policy, could the beneficiary sue for treble damages for, what's it called, Tom?
Bad faith.
For bad faith. Do you know the answer to that?
Is the policyholder still alive?
No, that's what I'm saying, the beneficiary only.
So we're saying so in this situation, have the insurance company is not paying off as it
exactly.
As it should. I don't know the answer. But I think that might be worth. But that does seem like it could. I've dabbled. I mean, I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But it seems like
listen, here's what I want. I'd rather just talk about getting this thing transferred to him at this point. And the point is this, is that they're giving him a hard time, he says. I think they have what you have explained this situation before, and that is internal policies at a bank or insurance company or another company conflict with the law. They often require more than the law requires. And you're saying sometimes a well-worded letter from an attorney actually instructs them how to do it. And I think, I'm thinking that's what he needs. But unfortunately, that could be a lot of money. I don't know. What would a letter like that cost him?
Oh, it's less than probate. I mean, I've done them for $500, $1,000. It's not.
Yeah, the whole thing's $3,700. So, see, Tim, listen. Tim, listen. Yeah. You really need to tell them. You give them the small estate affidavit and the death certificate and the change of ownership.
Yeah,
and the change of ownership. Those are the three things you send them. And I would tell them that with the small estate affidavit and the change of ownership and the death certificate, send it again, all three. These documents should be all you need for me to take over that policy. You know, don't talk about cashing it in right now. Just take it over, okay? Just take it over. And if I do not get possession of this in the next 30 days or 10 days or whatever, I am bringing a lawsuit, okay? Just do that, please. I know you say you sent it. I know you're frustrated. Do it again. But point out to them exactly what you're enclosing. This is my record that I am sending you once again the death certificate, the change of ownership, and the small estate affidavit. I expect to have possession of this life insurance policy, blah, blah, blah. This is what I would do. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm telling you what I would do. And if I don't, I am filing a lawsuit. Now, on the question of bad faith, just because we touched on it, bad faith is when an insurance company fails to pay on a claim that they are supposed to pay on. And if you are the insured, you can sue for treble damages or bad faith, which offers treble damages. You cannot usually, well, not usually, you can sue, for example, somebody else's insurance company who is supposed to pay you in like an automobile accident. You must be on the contract. Now, if you're a beneficiary for a life insurance policy, I'm not sure that qualifies for bad faith.
It would have to, because who else could hold their feet to the fire but the beneficiary?
Okay. I'm not even sure bad faith is applicable, I'm saying, for life insurance. What we have to find out is specifically from an attorney who handles bad faith as opposed to even insurance people. So we'll try to figure that out. Sometimes the third-party beneficiaries need to exert their rights.
Tell your smart device to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio.
Then you can hear news and talk.
I'm shocked Blake has never dealt with that, though.
No, because Denver's talk station.
You're going to find out, Mark, that you're not on the contract.
Now,
I mean,
Impact
I think you got to be on the contract. It's a very specific statute. bad faith is when,
How do we know that?
here's what it means. You've contracted with somebody, and they have fucking got you into that contract under bad
But you're
faith.
the beneficiary of that contract when that person's dead.
You had nothing to do with contract.
Who would know that? What was it, Daily Black?
I think Bendinelli, he's traveling right now.
Daily Black.
Yeah, he would. Well, maybe. I don't, but they do property damage. They may not know about life insurance. I don't know. We just have to find out. And let's ask him. Let's ask Daily Black and see.
He must have run into it. Or his boss.
Wendy's spicy chicken.
Can you get Daily Black on?
Spicy chicken.
Because Mark, you're a beneficiary of somebody else's liability. You're a beneficiary because you're a third party beneficiary. They hurt you, but you cannot sue bad faith. Documents now. They're trying to cash out his life insurance policy for his cash value. Oh, do we have the piece now? No, probably not. Why are we not?
Perfect time.
His cash value policy is owned by him.
What's up?
What's happening?
You said get Daily Black on. What's up?
Get the what? I told Shannon, I was like, I gotta go in there and mess with him.
The law firm's called Daily Black. So he's saying he's the Daily Black.
That's simple, boy.
What do you need, man? He comes in and goes, what do you need? I'm like, he goes, you get the Daily Black.
Antis isn't really black. He just identifies as a young black man.
Yeah. Wow. You know, soon that'll probably be a thing.
Right.
There's already. I've already heard.
Hey, that one.
I've already heard.
He also believes in this.
I'm not worried about him. I'm jumping off the dock right now.
So what's going to happen with this eviction?
Well, it's done. It's over. Well, actually, we've said that before, haven't we?
I have a feeling the sheriffs are going to get very busy really quick.
Oh, big time. It's going to get right.
So it's too bad there wasn't some way to actually separate people who needed rent relief. Like if you're a mom with 3 kids, those kids aren't in school now. You have to stay home with them and you're not working. Right? I mean, so.
Well, and they were giving everybody unemployment benefits. Right. Plus extra, and everybody's dancing that they're making more than
I know.
I
agree.
Oh, bullshit. So now they're making more, they're sitting at home, but then they refuse to pay their fucking rent.
You're absolutely right.
And they're not paying for daycare, so they don't have that going on.
That was the biggest problem.
The negative shit they're saying about the Supreme Court is crazy, man. Listen to some of these. These are all from Democrats in Congress. The Supreme Court does not have a scintilla of credibility anymore. Scintilla. The group of right-wing extremists just decided to throw families out of their homes during a global pandemic. Wow. All the way outside.
How about all the landlords that are losing them because they can't pay their mortgage?
Here's Corey Bush. We were outside the Capitol for 5 days, rain, heat, cold. If they think this partisan ruling is going to stop them fighting to keep people in their homes, they're wrong.
All Congress had to do is pass it.
Congress needs to act immediately.
But the court might
Let me tell you,
you
they never get reelected. Can you imagine?
Which is why they didn't do anything about it.
Of course. They're not fucking stupid. They're like, oh, it's all good to talk about, but you think you're getting me on record saying landlords can get fucked forever.
I won't be the one.
A couple of things. Mark London will come on at the top of the hour, because there's not enough time now. And did you see the email from Russ? He doesn't want the generator. He says, don't be mad at him. I forwarded you his email.
What? Are you fucking with me?
This is outside. Yeah, and he's like, please don't be mad at me. I don't even understand it.
Wait.
I don't see the email.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if I forwarded it to you.
Russ does not. Why was he putting up such a fight?
I have no idea. I think he sent me 2 emails.
I want to see it back.
No, we got to get
And I'm calling them both at noon.
We
Favor and Russ. Favor the tow guy. Who, by the way, favors the one that does all of the nuisance abatement law towing too.
Oh, he does?
That's what I was told. I've got an
Let's
insider.
talk to him about it.
I haven't told you guys yet, but I have this insider who's been calling me with info, but he doesn't want to go on the show. Anyway.
He's got an insider.
Listen to Newton's Law on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Meet Brian Bridges. He's the owner of a tattoo shop in Denver. Although Brian is used to getting email requests for tattoos, he was surprised when he saw one from a well-known celebrity in Los Angeles. So he turned into
I just sent you an outbound.
which lets him earn 5 times membership rewards points, flights, and prepaid hotels booked through AmexPay.com. Talk about get about in business like American Express.
Oh, what's he, a window company? What's our window guy's name? What?
The guys that were on Supreme?
Yeah.
Oh, Superior.
What are we talking about? Oh, car? Window cleaning. Oh.
The guys from Wednesday.
Premier. Not Superior. It's Premier.
Right? I'll just search it.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. And I found a law firm that does help beneficiaries sue life insurance companies, by the way. I don't know anything about them, but there are, if you Google it, you probably can find someone, and I'm not sure if they collect a portion of what they collect for you or whatever. I don't know how they're paid. But anyway, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we have this pending thing going on with the generator in the burned out RV. We will have a follow-up on that in the noon hour. Is that when, Doc?
Yes.
Okay. The owner of the salvage yard or the tow company, Elite Towing, will come on and talk about it. Susie, welcome to the show. What's happening with you, Susie?
Okay, Tom, I am with my sister in Texas.
Okay.
And she has been trying to get Medicare Part B for a long time.
Now, wait a minute. Why can't Medicaid Part B is automatic? What's going on?
No, Medicare. Medicare.
That's what I meant. Medicare. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Medicare Part B.
Right, but Social Security is requiring her to come up with all this information.
All right, hold on, and we'll walk you through it. If you can hold on, Susie, we'll walk you through this. Let's get our people on from Integra. Hold on.
Okay. You know what? Fuck this guy. Just read the email. He's a fucking nut.
Let's go, Russ.
He's a fucking nut. What's going on? Where is it? It's very hard to. You guys understand.
Where is it, Mark?
Right?
I don't have it.
There it is.
Where is it?
Here.
Oh, okay.
Can you read it out loud? I can't read it from you.
As far as I'm concerned.
Is it the one saying RV resolved? Yes, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Go ahead, read it.
When Extreme decided to remove my property from my RV that I was going to sell to put my life back together, Extreme Towing breached contract. They then bought it at the low end, $25,000.
He wants $25,000 from him now.
Yeah, he's full of shit. He's so full of shit.
Right.
He's saying they bought it.
Yeah, he's
when they did increase
just
his
now.
body. You break it, you bought it.
You take it.
Okay, so take it back. Tell me that the towing guy isn't for real, Mark. This guy's a fucking nut. Look, you're defending.
Look, man, this guy's a fucking nut.
But you don't
There's no doubt about it.
But you don't.
The tow guy was trying to keep the generator.
No.
Oh, he didn't just take it
Why
out.
can't both things be true?
Yeah.
They take it out because they can't send the RV to the crusher with the generator in it.
I don't mind them stripping out the RVs. The thing is this guy's a fucking idiot.
Right.
He's a fucking idiot. That's a fact. I'll say this: your guys better off than this crazy guy.
All right.
This guy is now trying to hold him hostage.
You want anything to drink, either of you?
I can't. I'm NPO. The only thing I'm allowed to do is wet my mouth so it gets really dry. You know that, Tom. Hey, how'd your scan go, by the way? Oh, they didn't give you the results yet?
No, because they go to the radiologist, then it goes to
Terry? I don't know. I mean, well, like I said, I hope it's a cyst.
50% of adolescents in the U.S. are vaccinated against
Fully
COVID-19.
electric plane.
This is ABC News. Tens of thousands of Afghans have made it out for what happens when they arrive here in the U.S. ABC's Sherry Preston.
Among the first things that Afghan refugees would have to put down on their special immigrant visas or SIVs that get them into the United States is where they would want to go. Jennifer Syme is in charge of resettlement at the International Rescue Committee, which works with the U.S. government to find places for refugees to live.
Most of the SIVs that are coming into the country have either family or relatives, which is something that they would note in their application.
There are several regions of the country with relatively high concentrations of Afghan families already, including Northern California, Northern Virginia, and parts of Texas. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The U.S. government says it's shutting down an embattled federal jail in New York City where Jeffrey Epstein killed himself 2 years ago. Some issues at the Metropolitan Correctional Center came to light after his death, including lax security and crumbling infrastructure.
Just race.
Who, me and you?
For money.
Who, me and you?
Yeah.
You can go faster than I can.
Okay, yeah, we'll be up there tonight.
No, I'm saying you can go faster than I can. I won't win.
Okay.
There's no point in this.
You're saying even one of that. Is it a premier window cleaning?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got the news.
I got it sent off. Oh, we're talking two different things. I had someone asking about it. That's all.
You get more than ready for school with amazing prices for everything on your list.
Uh-oh.
2018 with 30 prices may vary online.
What?
Another attack coming.
You think so?
Well, they're saying likely. Fuck yeah, I think it's coming. Would you go to that airport? If you were there, would you go there now?
No.
Like, how the fuck do you get out now?
I'd be trying to.
I'd want a Black Hawk.
I'm serious.
I mean, seriously, what do you fucking do?
Right.
Someone made a really good point. They said as many people that died, it's like 200 fucking people. This was a big bomb. They said there is no bomb you have on your body that kills this many people. They said that. They said the one at the airport must have been put there and then God, I can't speak. Detonated remotely like a week later. Or the Taliban literally just let the bomb go through. It wasn't searching anybody. But they said there's no way you're going to sneak. You can't sneak a fucking thing that size. I mean, it's like sneaking a car somewhere. What?
It's just too bad that
it's fucking horrible.
We have to face this.
No one has ever foobarred something this fucked up, man. This could be his. This is going to be his Achilles heel forever.
He's totally incompetent.
This is secured the fucking midterm.
It's fucking crazy, man.
I'd be surprised, man, how many people.
Did you listen to his news conference? The guy sounds like he's on tranquilizers.
I couldn't believe it when he hung his head down. He really did try to get like energetic for that one part. He couldn't fucking pull it off.
I'm not sure what's going on yet, but crews are just now.
You know what it reminded me of? It's the opposite, though. The first debate they did, Trump showed up like this cocky motherfucker that there's no way he could lose against Sleepy Joe, and it was the worst fucking showing of any debate.
No, Trump was his own fucking enemy.
Yeah, but Trump killed. Usually he killed in debates. He gives you a fucking nickname. What was Hillary?
Lying Hillary.
They weren't even that great at fucking nicknames.
Marco. What was Marco again? Little Hands? No. Little Marco?
Little Marco.
Sleepy Joe.
I'll tell you what, though, back in the day when Trump nicknamed you, you weren't shaking that shit.
Pardon me, Tommy, Mark, I have London Crowns on for that question. Trouble damages? Yeah, no, he knows. So for the life insurance trouble damages thing, that I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I can already tell you I'm right.
There was no right or wrong. I said I didn't know.
No, you said you were.
Mark, there is no right or wrong.
I said I didn't know. And he always says, oh, you're wrong because you don't know. I admit I don't know.
I talk about
the
what you think and what I think.
The third-party beneficiaries
I think that's wrong.
Exactly.
What do you think? What's your guess?
I already read about that. They've already been sued for it by the beneficiary.
No, I'm talking. No. But my specific question is got to do with treble damages. Can they go after bad faith? I'm sure you can sue anybody for anything, but can they actually use a bad claim?
Don't know.
So you don't think they can?
Well, here's why. I didn't say that, Mark. I thought that in another case somebody could have gotten treble, and I was told they couldn't because they were not directly on the contract. So you don't have. I forget what it was, but I remember thinking that.
Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. The question of bad faith came up on the show, and Daly & Black, that's a law firm that handles bad faith a lot. London Crowns is one of the attorneys in Denver that handles bad faith. Bad faith is when you contract with an insurance company, you pay your bills and you pay your premiums, and then comes time for a claim they should pay and they don't pay. That's bad faith. London, give us some examples of common bad faith claims that you have brought and won.
Sure. So bad faith is defined very simply as when a carrier denies benefits without a reasonable basis.
Right.
Usually the reasonableness standard is what we look at with the law with regard to that, but it's essentially what you could argue. There's also an unreasonable delay of payment that's recognized as well, where treble damages are warranted for unreasonable delay. There's Prompt Pay Act statutes in every state, typically between 45 to 60 days, regarding the amount of time they have to pay or deny a claim after a valid and complete claim has been presented. So that's the
okay. Now on penalties, states differ, right? Colorado is treble damages.
That's right. In Colorado, under Section 10.3.1116, there are reasonable attorney's fees, court costs, and 2 times the covered benefit of the insurance policy benefits that should have been paid. So yes, that's treble damages plus interest and attorney's fees are warranted in that instance.
Okay, and that's denying a claim. Can denying a claim be extended? Let's say in an accident, if somebody hurts me and their liability doesn't pay, I don't have standing against their company, right? So I can't sue that other person's company in a personal injury because they didn't pay me. I can sue the other driver. Can that driver sue his company for bad faith for not paying me?
That's correct. In that instance, that is third-party bad faith. We only operate in the first-party sense, where you have either a property insurance policy, a life insurance policy.
Right. Collecting that benefit. Then does my estate sue for bad faith, or can Mark sue directly for bad faith against this insurance company?
So the beneficiary of a life insurance policy can sue directly for the benefit. And in that instance, there would be argument. The only arguments they can make in the life insurance sense are that, one, you either made you yourself made some material misrepresentations in the application regarding the state of your health or your conditions that would be material to whether or not they extended that policy. That's one defense. We just had a $113 million verdict against United of Omaha, the case awarded in trial in Jefferson County in Texas back in June.
For what?
Which was a record for extra contractual damages on a life insurance policy.
They were denying coverage?
They were denying coverage based off of alleged misrepresentations in the policy, which did not hold water. They were not material to the coverage.
Okay. Now this one...
The other instances, they could argue you were still alive, right?
Yeah, of course. Now this one is of particular note because it's weird. This one is weird. This doesn't have to do with a death benefit. But let's say, in this case, I have a life insurance policy that I took out on my son. And I pay the premiums on my son's life insurance policy. And it has a cash value. When I die, my son I leave the policy to my son. The estate has to transfer the policy into his name. His plan is to cash it out. Now, if he is wanting to take over the policy and the life insurance company hold on, that's not you, London. There you are. Okay. Oh, it is him. London got disconnected, so I don't want to waste my time explaining this story. We'll get him back. 303-713-TALK. This one is so weird because it's not a life benefit, but he's trying to get it transferred to himself. Anyway, I'll just take another call until he comes back on. Susie, now you're saying that you're trying to get Medicare for your sister. She's trying to get Medicare Part B. And we wanted to get our expert on from Integra Insurance. But in short, Medicare Part B is kind of almost automatic when it comes to Medicare Part A and Part B. Why is she not able to get it?
Hi, this is Pat. I'm Susie's sister.
Yeah, so why? Medicare Part A and Part B is something that every American can get, so why can you not get it?
Okay, I got Part A when I turned 65. I didn't enroll in Part B until I turned 70 because I worked and had insurance through my employer during that time.
And you didn't want to pay the premium?
No, I didn't want to pay the premium.
Because Part A is free, isn't that right?
Yes.
And
Correct.
Part B is based on income.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, hold on a second. Is London back? Hold on. London is back. I just want to take the attorney again. I'll come right back to you. So, London, basically, let's put it this way. I have a life insurance policy on my son. I'm paying the premiums on it. But when I die, he takes over the policy. It's not a life benefit. He's just taking over his own policy. But he wants to cash it out for cash value. This company is really screwing him around with change of ownership of the policy. He says, I want to cash this policy out, and they say you can't cash it out until you own it. And he sends the death certificate. He sends the transfer of ownership. He sends the small estate affidavit, and they say something like, oh, we can't read the death certificate or whatever. But that's not for you to solve. My quick question is, does screwing someone around like that qualify as bad faith for transferring ownership? Because it's not really a death benefit we're talking about now.
It's about the processing of the claim, and if they unreasonably delay the handling of the matter and their objections to why they can't process it are reasonable, like feeling unable to read the death benefit or death certificate when it's very clear, that would be bad faith.
So do you think you could really screw with them if they were just delaying if they knew, hey, this guy is going to discontinue the policy, so we want to delay him owning it as long as possible? Could you construe that into a bad faith?
Once the insured has met their burden and provided all the documentation that goes along with their duty to cooperate, and the carrier fails to respond back within a reasonable amount of time, which in Colorado is 45 days, that's a bad faith case. And we have prevailed on cases even when the benefit has been paid, but it was unreasonably delayed, say, for 7 months, 9 months.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that too. I was going to talk about that too. Many times when you get involved, let's say on a roofing claim or on a house claim or something, and the insurance company denies a benefit, and then you get involved, and then they realize, wait a minute, we may have to pay 3 times the damage, and they say, never mind, here's the check. Does the bad faith go away? And I think your answer is no, it doesn't go away if they have unreasonably delayed.
That's right. It depends on the conduct and how soon they want to come to the table to try to resolve it. I'm certainly willing to let them off the hook, per se, for all the damages that are permissible and recoverable in court, but they're going to have to pay something in addition there, too, because reasonable attorney's fees are compensable. So at the very least, I'm going to make them pay our attorney's fees.
So with a bad faith, that's a good question. With bad faith, are attorney's fees on top of treble damages?
That's right, especially under statute in Colorado, under 10.3.1116, it's the reasonable attorney's fees and court costs and 2 times the covered benefit if the carrier unreasonably delays or denies payment.
Well, then that's not treble. That could be more than treble or less than treble. If it's 2 times the benefit plus attorney's fees and costs, it's not always treble.
That's correct. That's why we recovered a $113 million verdict recently.
So you actually had higher attorney. So really it could be way higher than treble damages when it comes to, because it's 2 times the benefit.
That's right. Plus interest in attorney's fees. So, and the court decides what the attorney's fees are. Usually they're pretty generous in the event that we've prevailed in trial. But those are all compensable damages.
All right.
That's right. So
that's cool. That's great to know. And by the way, Daly and Black, are they on they can find them on the referral? No, they were on the referral list. Anyway, London, the bottom line is you guys do a great job for consumers. That's the main thing. And again, our recommendation is always try a public adjuster first and see what you get. What happened? They just dropped off the list.
A long time ago.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, first of all, we never saw our end of the deal.
What do you mean?
There was supposed to be like some kind of, I don't know, per something.
Oh, yeah. We were trying to come up with something, but that was kind of, I think they ran into how they can compensate us. Actually, you're right.
The Art of Grant, not the Art of Grant, although I love these guys. I want to talk about Ideal right now because it's time to talk about Ideal, and it's a great time to talk about Ideal because so many people can still benefit from refinancing. And there's no supply chain shortage for money and refinancing. Isn't that great? So you can get right in the pipeline and get it done. And Ideal Home Loans can get you that lower rate. You don't have to go back to 15 or 30 years. You can pick whatever term you want. You can also take cash out to fix up your home. So many people are doing that. And it's not unwise to do that if you do it wisely, of course, when it comes to fixing up your house. So if you take equity out to fix up your house, instead of moving, you could be cash ahead because of how much newer homes are and how much you save by staying where you are. And then Ideal can show you how to pay back that extra principal maybe to fix up your home faster so you're not strapped for the whole 15 or 30 years. Find out more about cash out refis with idealhomeloans.com, 303-867-7000. And remember, the home of the interest rate guarantee, 303-867-7000.
Take it.
You know, they're cheapskates, though, those assholes. On that, because I mean, Daly and Black, I mean, I know there's got to be a way to work that out.
But that's why, you're absolutely right. That's where we left it. We should really come up with something. I don't know how to do it, but even just a...
Can I interject something, Tom?
Yes, sir.
You shouldn't say they used to be on my referral list.
Well, he did.
Well, I did it because I was
No, but that implies that you took them off.
Yeah, but we just had them out.
What I'm saying is, I didn't plan to say that. What I said was, I was going to say you can find them on referral list, and then I suddenly occurred to me. I said, are they on? I said, oh, no, they're not on, because that's how it happened.
Right.
Normally, I never say that.
Right.
I never even mention it if they're not on the referral list.
That's a bad.
Look at this, Jeff.
I mean, that goes without saying.
What is he doing?
Yeah, look at that.
yeah, no. Kind of just curl up during the whole freaking thing, man.
That's who's running this country right now.
Yeah, this country's running this country. Those puppets are just sitting around getting their chains jerked. All of them.
Well, the monthly check is only as safe as your employer's ability to pay. I mean, that will never rise.
Would you go after a judgment on a bad tenant now?
Hell yeah.
Forget about the eviction. You can evict them now. But would you go after the unpaid rent?
Yes, I would.
I don't give a fuck if they didn't have a nickel. I'd go after and I'd haunt them the rest of their life. Anywhere they got a job,
now,
I'd get fucking 25%.
If I knew that they had a kid sick or they were sick and they truly went through the house, if I knew they were truly affected by COVID...
Yeah, but no one's been affected for 18 months.
No, I know. But how can fucking people say you're putting families out on the street? There was a guy that went out and bought a boat.
I know.
With the money he saved.
Neighbor Dave, 46,000, and the people were working the whole time. Remember, he was on 46,000. He didn't get paid for 18 fucking months.
Which neighbor? Yours?
Yeah, you've met him.
Yeah.
And if they got unemployment, I would definitely go after them.
It was worse than that. They owned their own carpet business, and they were out carpet cleaning every day.
No,
they literally were out working every day.
Yeah.
They bought 2 new vehicles, and then they bought their kid a fucking car or something too.
No, if I knew that somebody was getting $600 of unemployment and didn't pay anything towards the rent, I'd be going after them.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for not paying partial rent.
Well, I mean, I'm with Tom. If they're for real, they're sick as a dog and in the hospital like you were for 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, you got money though, but that's a whole different deal than 18 months and you're still out working.
Right. No, not paying rent for a month or two is different than 18
Yeah,
months.
then you give an extra 50 for a while and eventually you catch up.
Right.
Whatever.
So easy to get started.
The other thing that the Supreme Court hasn't touched on yet is the late charges and shit. They said you're not allowed to. So if your rent had late charges, I don't know. I wonder if this whole thing has to do with that.
Well, here's the deal. They're not saying, the court didn't say that retroactively the moratorium wasn't okay. They're saying from now on it's not okay.
Yeah.
So if it was legal up until today, they can't charge you back.
But if you own 3 mega buildings with 500 tenants each, and you have late fees of in excess of millions of dollars owed to you contractually, can you get fucking your money? That's all I'm curious about.
Because the moratorium was legal up until the court said it
Oh,
wasn't.
no, that doesn't mean they didn't accrue rent. It just means they couldn't fucking evict them. They never said rent was excused. They never once said...
No, but they said late fees and
Okay,
interest.
that's different. That's different. But I'm saying as far as the fucking money, there was never a word that you weren't ever going to have to pay.
No, there wasn't.
So there's going to be 14 million people going back.
That's right. And then they're going to go try to rent from someone else.
Yeah.
What they should have done, if they were going to do that, save the money to buy a place.
Well, here's the other place.
You should see the hoops side.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Remember, free market valuations of your home to tell you what it will sell for in this market. And it's a highly advanced skill, truly. He doesn't just screw around. He does a detailed report, and it's totally complimentary because he wants to gain market knowledge, and he wants to show you what he can do if you ever do want to list in the future. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Now, listen, I do want to go back to Susie, and Susie, I guess I'm talking to the sister now. Who am I talking to right now?
This is her sister, Pat.
Okay, Pat. What I want to say is this. If you do not subscribe to Medicare Part B when you're supposed to, there's a surcharge on it for the rest of your life, but you can get it. However, you pay more for it.
I thought that was waived if you had continuous coverage.
Yes, if you have coverage, I believe if you have coverage, they do waive it. What is specifically your issue?
My issue is that I enrolled for Part B in May. In July, I got a letter from Social Security saying that I didn't qualify because I didn't have continuous coverage.
Okay, that's the issue.
So
okay.
I called them and sent them the information, and I've called several times since then. I mean, I immediately that day sent it to them in July.
This is not uncommon, by the way. This is not uncommon, and we have handled this before. So I would not be too concerned. I mean, look, there might be a reason they feel you didn't have continuous coverage. Did they actually mention a period of time you did not have continuous coverage?
No, they weren't specific on that. But now I get someone else on the phone, and now they're telling me I have to fill out this form, or my previous 2 employers have to fill out these forms. Well, one of them has been sold. One of my previous companies that I've worked with has been sold several times.
No, I know.
And
Yeah.
now I'm seeing that Amazon bought them. It's like, who do I go to at Amazon?
Hey, Pat, the other question I have, they're not saying you're denied B. They're saying you're going to have to pay the surcharge, right?
No, they're not saying that. They're saying because I didn't have continuous coverage now, I also don't qualify for the special enrollment period.
I understand, but let's say you do. Let's say, hold on. Let's say all of that is out the window. Are they saying you will never get Part B the rest of your life? Is that basically what you're understanding? Because that's not so.
Well, no, they didn't say that. But you also haven't had
So what they're saying, I think what they're saying is they're not acknowledging your coverage. Therefore, when you do get it, you're going to have to pay a premium.
Right, and at this point, I'm willing to pay the premium. You know, they're making me jump through hoops and not being specific, and I get people on the phone who talk like robots.
Now, do you also have, along with your Medicare,
something different?
Along with your Medicare right now, do you have your supplement in place?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been paying the premiums.
So let's get someone here, Suze, can we get someone from Integra on to answer this? They really are pretty smart. So hold on. We really do want to get someone on. I thought it was going to be more simple than that. So Part B is the medical part of the policy, as opposed to what they used to call hospitalization. And that is the one that we have a premium on, and that is the one that you're having a problem. I'm wondering if you wanted to switch to Medicare Advantage, what would happen? I'm not saying you do. But have you ever discussed, Susie or Pat, have you ever discussed Medicare Advantage?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want the Advantage program.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. We're going to come back to you. Now, this one, I just want to tell you, we're going to get the tow yard guy on. And Russ, to recap for people listening, obviously, you lived in an RV. It meant a lot for you, the motorhome. It burned up in an air conditioning explosion, and you lost your motorhome. It was at a salvage yard for a while, and then you towed it to a place where you could take parts off it that you wanted, and we had to get involved to get that done. But when it was towed to the place, you noticed the generator was missing, and it was a really good Onan generator. And when we contacted the tow yard, they said, oh, yeah, we know that. We have it here, and we had meant to give it to him all along. And now I hear you don't want it at all. Is that right?
Well, there's really no point in me having it back. I don't know what they've done to it. They've lied already, and there's other things that is missing. And I'm not a professional. But
well, if you're not a professional, what would you have done differently removing it than they did? That looks like they did a very professional job removing it, and they're willing to give it to you. And if anything, they saved you a lot of labor.
These Onan generators are easy to remove.
Yeah, I mean, they are. They're just one hookup, basically. So what is it about this generator? You were bitching with us a long time, and we got it back for you, and now you're telling me you don't want it.
But they did not remove it proper. There's wires they cut. They didn't unbolt things. There's things under there that they cut. All the
what do you want, Russ? What do you want? You don't want the generator. Well, why did you even call us then?
Well, because I didn't know that it was going to be what it is after.
They did not, Russ. They did not ruin your generator. They did not ruin your generator. They took it out of there, and if they cut something that was that was wired to your RV, that has nothing to do. That generator would have to be rewired no matter what RV it went into. What they did not ruin your generator. But I just need to know, why do you not want it?
But no, I'll take it, and with all the other stuff that's missing too.
Well, I don't know if they have all the other stuff. All we know now is that we can get you the generator. But you did send us an email, and I just want to tell you something, Russ, and I promise you, you know how much time we spent on this, and I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. If you think you're going to get $25,000 from them in damages, you have rocks in your head, and I will no longer work with you, because now you're trying to take advantage of the situation, and it's very unreasonable. Now, you might be angry. Maybe you didn't really mean it, but I'm telling you, there is nothing on that RV that is worth $25,000. If they took the whole damn thing and crushed it, they wouldn't owe you $25,000.
Right.
And guess what, Russ? We're the only ones in the world that would help a homeless person with a burnt-out RV with not a dime to his name. So if you think you're going to find an attorney to take this case, you're crazy. If you want to be reasonable, we'll continue to work with you, okay? But if you're starting to ask for $25,000 and breach of contract and all of that crap, go somewhere else. Many times when we start helping people who are down and out, and we actually start making progress, what happens is they get a taste of it and now start getting crazy. The expression is, you give them an inch and they take a mile. Just like these people who were renting during COVID and they got a little rental relief. It was meant to get them past the hump if they had COVID. So they made this eviction moratorium. And guess what? People were not paying rent for 18 months. Now you tell me one family that was technically impacted for 18 months straight. No one. They took advantage of it. You have people buying boats and cars and trucks and spending money on weed but not paying rent. And landlords were supposed to suck it up. And now that the moratorium is over, I say good. Go after the deadbeats. I'm not talking about people who are truly impacted, but you and I both know that most people who took advantage of this, they took advantage of landlords, and it's about time the Supreme Court did what is right. And what's amazing to me is how the Democrats are now, they are chastising the Supreme Court for doing this, saying that the Supreme Court erred and is wrong and is heartless. Isn't that funny? When the decisions go their way, they love the Supreme Court. But if the decisions go the other way, they hate the Supreme Court. Can you say hypocrite?
All politicians do that. I say hypocrite 3 times.
Everyone will show up.
Just don't say it 5 times. Come on, kidding you.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's.
From the Bedford Sports Traffic Center, I took out southbound has some stickiness at 84th Avenue and some police reported there. Also a little sluggish between 97.
Okay, we got
70 has brake lights westbound from
This guy's a fucking nut.
And then
He's
also
a fucking nut.
there's an accident on Rockford.
That guy would be RV.
It's been going on for over a fucking week.
Oh yeah, you were here last week.
Tonight a few clouds and a low down to 60. And then tomorrow, sunny skies with a few winds.
Yeah, right here.
High of 91.
That's the low end, 25,000. His wife just sent an email.
She wants more.
She 25 is the low end.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they think they have some kind of major suit.
What's that mean? Because it means that you are undeniably
they're so fucked up. They're never going to take. They're not getting anything.
Nothing else compares. Get your Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets now at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Nugs. All right, I want to tell you about Rocky Mountain IV Medics because I am a patient. And by my calculations, they'll be coming by any time to give me an IV at the beginning of September. I do it monthly. Now, here's something important you need to know about Rocky Mountain IV Medics. Okay, the service is from 8 to 8. You can call for same-day appointments. You can text for same-day appointments. A medical professional comes to your home. They take
HSA and FSA. So before they expire and you're looking for something to spend it on, this is good money you put away before taxes. You can spend it by paying for Rocky Mountain IV Medics. And by the way, you don't pay any more than going to a hydration bar. So why not get a medical professional in your home, get it paid for, and get the relief you want for migraines, hangovers, for COVID even, or any sickness. Hydration gets you over the hump. They have special formulations for pain. They have special formulations for whatever you need. 720-987-2155. 720-987-2155.
This is Bill Lampier, General Manager of Clean Lexus of Greenwood Village, the #1 Lexus dealer in
You know that
just received 2 truck
they only charged him,
vehicles from the U.S.
the tow truck guy. Remember, this is a fucking 30-foot piece of shit RV that caught on fire, okay? They towed it twice, once to the yard. They kept it there for over 30 days, okay? Then they towed it somewhere else for him to where it is now. You know how much they charged him total for everything? What do you think?
It should be probably around
$355.
That's all they charged him. Yeah, just to tow that RV's $1,000. I don't give a fuck. And then how much a day can you charge?
That depends on a lot.
50 a day?
The size alone, you can charge more.
Oh, I forgot it. Yeah. I mean, it's just they were so good to this guy in that aspect. Now they want $25,000 for a fucking 25-year-old owning generator out of an RV. There's beats in there, dude. Oh. You're like, oh, that's why they disappeared.
You guys, the food is here. Mark, check out that email from Steve Hirsch. I CC'd him in me replying to you. I'm not crazy about that idea, if I'm understanding it right.
Want to offer financing for their buyers, for their children, friends, or buyers in general. It can be a nice form of interest-bearing income, but if it's not done right, it can be a nightmare. You need the help of O'Brien Legal Services. Bradley O'Brien and his team make sure your loan docs are solid and your income secure. OLSlaw.com. 720-370-7388. 720-370-7388.
Hey there, homeowners. Are you experiencing pipe leaks? Is your water bill unexpectedly high? Or are you suffering from low water pressure? These are signs of
Go camping this weekend, Mark?
No, not this weekend, next.
My son's going out to the dunes this weekend. Go camping.
New high-quality PEX or copper will permanently solve the problem. Reed Pipe Specialists. No more leaks and great water pressure. They've been doing this for over 25 years, serving over 40,000 happy customers. In just 1 to 2 days at half the cost of a plumber with a lifetime guarantee. So say goodbye to leaks once and for all. Enjoy a pipe leak-free home and eliminate the risk of potential water damage. Call us today for your free in-home estimate. We'll even take 20% off our already low price and receive 0% interest when you call today. 720-573-0086. 720-573-0086. That's 720-573-0086.
There's more to Isaac Newton than apples and gravity. On the podcast Newton's Law, you'll hear a different side of the father of physics, who later became England's most ruthless lawman.
So who was this ruthless detective? This hard-bitten crook catcher, totally unmoved by the pleas of a desperate man? It was Isaac Newton. Yes, that Isaac
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, man.
While Tom's not here, we should get a date for you, me, and Dan to go back to Top Golf and reschedule that.
Yeah, we'll get it just any Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesdays are the best because it's cheap Tuesday.
Oh, is it? All right.
And we split it 3 ways. It's next to nothing.
My golf tournament ends this Tuesday. Is the last day for the golf league.
I'll book it for. I'll book just now.
Yes, so any Tuesday is great for me after that.
Hey, Steph and Mark Major, you had to email me to call about our system. I think there's something going on with the cell part of it or something.
So don't wait to take advantage of $1,000 or more maybe in monthly savings, especially with rates still near all-time lows. All American financing today can get
It's a good thing I've been doing this intermittent fasting because it makes not eating anything so I had surgery done. So I haven't had anything to eat since.
Yeah, go ahead. What's going on?
Last night.
AmericanFinancing.net.
Denver's Talk Station.
Broken tooth.
630 K.
Missing tooth. No, another broken tooth. Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
CPAP.
All right, 303-713-8255. We have a couple lines open. Hold on, we're going to go back. Tom, where do you want to go from here? You want to go back and talk to Russ anymore? We just got an email, too, from his wife saying 25 grand's on the low side.
Yeah, you know what, Mark? Those people are being unreasonable, in my opinion. And I'm going to get that tow truck guy on, the one who towed it to begin with and who brought it to the yard. And I think I might have misjudged him. But I'm going to give everyone a fair say. But first, in the interest of time, Integra took some time out of their day. Jared, I want to talk to because we have an issue with Medicare. And I think everyone listening can benefit from this. But the bottom line is this. Jared, this woman did not apply for Medicare Part B in the beginning. And in general, Medicare Part B is the part of Medicare that has a premium attached to it based on your income. Is that right?
That is correct.
Now, you get Medicare Part A free. We pay for a Part B. And if you don't sign up for B in the beginning when you're eligible, it's possible that you are charged a surcharge when you do get it for the rest of your life. Is that right?
That is correct.
However, if you show that you had continuous coverage and you did not need Part B until you do need it, then they waive that charge. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So we're all in agreement except for one thing. It's not working for Pat. For Pat, they're giving her a hard time. And she is saying that she applied for Medicare B, and they said, sorry, you did not have continuous coverage. Now, why they decided that, I don't know. And they didn't elaborate, did they, Pat?
Well, part of the reason is I had, between the 5 years between I turned 65 and 70 when I applied, I was with 3 different employers.
Okay.
So
now they want her to go back and get things signed from the previous 3 employers. That's pretty difficult since one company has been bought and sold 3 or 4 times. Isn't there an easier way, Jared?
Not necessarily. She needs to have the form, the CMS L564 form filled out to Medicare.
What the hell is that form?
That form is pretty much the employer proving that she had qualified health coverage.
And the employer has to supply that?
My employer that I was with when I retired did fill out that form. But now they're saying I have to go back to the 2 previous employers.
Okay.
So Medicare, well, Social Security is telling you this, correct?
Yes, Social Security.
Yeah. So yeah, you do have to fill that out.
Wouldn't a pay stub be enough?
No, they want to see if you had qualified health coverage.
How much is this? How much is this extra premium you have to pay if you did not get it?
It's 10% every 12 months, and it can. So over 24 months it'll be 20%. Over 36 months it'll be 30%. Et cetera, et cetera.
So it can be a lot of money.
Oh my God, we're talking 5 years.
Yes, exactly. So it could be quite.
You got to go through the hoops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I mean, honestly, if you talk to a Social Security expert and ask for somebody that can work your case, they might be able to help you. But if you're dealing with Social Security, they're going to ask for that form.
Would it be easier, Pat, if you get the form, fill it out, and simply ask these previous employers to verify the information and sign it?
Well, the problem is I don't know who to go to. One of my previous employers has been sold several times, and it's been split up. And I just read online they were sold to Amazon.
That might make it easier.
Who do I go to at Amazon?
And who would they have? What kind of company was that?
It was a technology company.
Okay.
Dealing with advertising.
Okay. So, Jared, she can't be the only one who has a problem documenting. Right. Have you ever run into this with clients?
I have. It's an actually very easy form if you look at it, and it does go through. We'd have to do a little bit more research on what happens when a company is sold. And there are easier ways to do this through this form. I mean, really, it's a one-page form. That's all it is.
What would you do if the company was out of business?
Right, and that's what we'd have to do to find.
I got it.
Yeah, we'd have to do a little bit more research because that's definitely has to happen all the time.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is maybe you can find out, if you get a chance, Jared, to what happens when people are having a difficult time getting a hold of previous employers. And right now, Pat, you got the most current employer, so now they want you to go back to the two previous, and one of them was sold to Amazon. What happened to the other one?
The other one was also sold, but I think I know the company, and I may even still know some people there, so I have a little bit better hope for that one.
But do me a favor. What you must do is supply them the form. Do not tell them what you need. Show them. Literally attach it to an email saying, I just need this signed or I will never get Medicare. I just make it dire. And then we'll give you the number for Jared over there. And in fact, you know, they're good people to know you might need a supplement and you say you have one, but they're great people if you want to renew that supplement through them, because this is the kind of service they do for people. Integra Insurance, 303-466-5500. Now we will come back. We'll hear from the guy who owns Extreme, was it Extreme Towing or Elite? I thought it was Elite, right? I think it's Elite. Favor? Anyway, we'll come back and talk about what happened with this RV once and for all.
I'm telling you. Is Social Security actually going to reach out and verify that those are bona fide signatures, or why not just have your neighbor fill a fucking thing?
That's what I did. Fuck that.
Mark, come out here for a minute. On that Steve Hirsch. Okay. We charged him $2,900.
Right now it's 89 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Cynthia Dale, 6:30 K-Town.
Are you ready for fall but your house isn't? Luckily, Lowe's has what you need and the prices you want to get your front yard, backyard, every yard ready to host this season.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to Tom about it, but it's BS. What is? Well, here, real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me grab this.
What's that? What's going on?
What's going on?
So, Steve Hirsch.
We are a serious firm for serious cases, and we take righteous cases on a percentage fee basis. Reach me at 303-770-5551 or at GameCapitalistLaw.com. That's GameCapitalistLaw.com.
Plumbing problems can make for a really crappy day. But with Prime Plumbing and Heating, help is just a phone call away. Local and family-run, Prime Plumbing and Heating offers 24/7 service to keep your home up and running. Dependable and affordable, Prime Plumbing and Heating offers upfront pricing because the only thing worse than a plumbing surprise is a surprise bill. To schedule, call 720-542-8153. That's 720-542-8153 or visit PrimePlumbingHeating.com. So many people have told me about Orchard, and no wonder. It's the new way to sell. For example, Orchard makes you a cash offer for your home. And when your home sells for more, you keep the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or for the best price for your home. Tell you about Ruby, a recent Orchard customer. Ruby's home sold on the market for $3,000 above his cash offer. Had he gone to a home buying company, he would have missed out on that extra money. But with Orchard, he got more cash at closing. Ruby's story isn't unique. 99 out of 100
Two different companies. That's how I said to answer it. It's just totally two separate. And then we'll just play it by play. What you got this weekend? Anything cool?
I'm just going up to the cabin.
Yeah. Just you and the old lady?
Yeah, and the dogs. You know, we stopped going up for a couple of weeks. Remember, I had to take off a few weeks ago because we had to take the dog to the vet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't acting right.
Is she okay?
No, she's dying. She's got leukemia.
Fucking A. How old is that dog?
She's only 11. But, you know, so they said, keep her quiet, so on and so forth. She's probably got a week and a half, 2 weeks. Well, she's already busted out of that. You know, she's going on to week 3 or 4 now. But, you know, we talked about, low red blood cell count, so, you know, she's having a hard time moving oxygen, so it was probably not a good idea to go into the fucking mountains. Well, so she really hasn't been doing a whole lot of anything. And I, had to get the other dog out, Corbin. Had to get him out, go fishing, because he hasn't been doing anything either, and he's starting to drive everybody fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So, ended up taking Roxy, too. She started running around, fucking just happy as shit, just being there and whatnot. So, you know what? It's not quality of life if we're not going to fucking live it. So, we're going up to the fucking mountains.
She'll probably love it.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Oh, yeah. But what are you going to do? You know, they said, well, we can do chemo, we can do this, and I'm not going to put her through that. She's fucking 11 years old.
No.
So you're just going to make it easy, huh?
Just let her do her thing. And then the hope is that one morning we get up and she doesn't. You know?
I was hoping that for my last Adobe Bella, but she got to be 16, dude. And I kept going, man, she's just kind of croaking her sleep, hopefully. And
nope.
It just got to the point, though, we had to put her down because every time she'd stand up, she'd fall over.
Mm-hmm.
But she wouldn't die. I mean, it was crazy, man. It was the craziest shit.
Bella was loving her life, man.
16-year-old Dobie.
Bella was loving her life.
Yeah, my old lab, he was almost 16 when I had to put him down.
My first Doberman, man, he got a big old, right on his lung, a big tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter if it was cancerous or not. He was 10. But it got so big, there's no way they could remove it because it was intertwined on the lung. And it was fucking pressing up against so much, he literally couldn't breathe. He'd be... So one morning we woke up and he was gasping so bad, we just called it that. That was that.
My place is now come to your house.
That's what we did, that was the last one. That was 10 years ago, the first one.
It was actually really good to have the other dog.
Did you actually... I swear to God that I heard Biden the other night, a quote. He was blaming Trump, saying, well...
He did.
Trump announced he was going to do
No, he said Trump. He said that Trump is the one that said we were going to. He made a deal with the Taliban that we would be out of there or whatever. Whatever.
That's right.
But no one. Who gives a fuck? Every other deal that he did by executive order, Biden tore the fuck up. It's the worst argument I ever heard. He did a deal with the pipeline. He did a deal with 100 things.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-8255 now. I want to get this guy on to give him a say, but the more I look at this, I really don't think this towing place did anything wrong. And again, I want to get the name of the towing company correct, because it says Extreme. I don't know if it's Extreme or Elite. I'm given two different names here. So, Favor, what is the name of your company? Let's start there. Is it Elite Towing?
Hello, Tom. It's Extreme Towing.
Extreme. Okay, then Deputy Doc, I got to chalk that up to his senility here. Okay, so Extreme Towing is what you have. You towed this RV to your yard, and from the time you towed it there, you know, by the way, I should mention, Russ was under extreme emotional duress. He lost his home, okay? And he and his wife were facing losing everything, and I can see that, and you had to deal with that. And at first I thought, well, maybe
you are a crook or maybe you are taking advantage, the more I look at this, the whole damn bill that you charge for taking it over there and storing it was only $300 and something bucks, right?
And towing it back to them, yes.
I mean, okay, Favor, that in itself, I mean, could have been more than triple that somewhere else.
If it was straight by the book, how much would the tow of a burned-down RV be twice? And then the storage, how much would it be?
If you had charged for all of those services, what would it have been?
Correct. It would have come out to probably close to $1,500 to $1,600, and those are rates by the Public Utility Commission.
Right. Instead, you charge them $350. Now, once it's there, he starts, of course, getting upset with tools missing, this missing, that missing, other things missing. And I should say to you, the normal procedure we found out, when people have an RV or something of value there and it's going to eventually be crushed or taken away, it is not uncommon for them to take off the hard parts, the engines, the hydraulics, the generators, the plumbing, things like that, just to make it easier. It's not that they're going to sell it or that it's worth a lot of money, but that is not uncommon. In your case, you knew he wanted it towed somewhere else. And you're telling us, and I want you to explain that, when you knew that, why did you go ahead and remove the generator?
Okay, thank you, Tom. So his vehicle was here for over a month, and we, by law, after 30 days, we send out the letter. After 30 days, we have to dispose of his vehicle within 30 days. So when he came here, he had AAA come out here 3 times to try to tow this thing out of here, and they would refuse to tow it because they said they can't tow it. It was burnt to a crisp. And he said that, I don't know how I'm going to get it out of here. So then after a month, we had our guys start taking the stuff off in order to send it down to the crusher because it's just basically crusher weight. So when I got involved with you guys and Russell himself, this had already happened. Now, I sent Doc the picture of the generator.
I got it.
Taken out. Yep, and it was taken out and it was sitting next to the RV. The guy that towed it to Russ was not the original tow driver. Had no idea that was the generator for that. He loaded up the thing and it was late at night because he met Russ late at night down there. I got a call from Russ when my driver got there to drop it off. I got a call saying, hey, the guy doesn't want to take it because his generator is missing. I called Russ. I said, Russ, what's going on? He told me what's happening. I said, I guarantee you this is what happened. I explained it to him. I immediately got a hold of our guy down here. He said tomorrow the next day he would send somebody here to find out what's going on. And you can see the picture, which is dated on my cell phone from my text, was the day after we towed it over to Russ on a weekend on a Sunday. And you could see the generator sitting there. It wasn't like we were going to take the generator and do anything.
You know, I'm the most cynical here, and I think this guy's shooting straight, man.
Yeah. So bottom line is you didn't charge him what you needed to. You got him his stuff. I think Russell's pissed at the world because of this. We'll talk more.
So many businesses
now catering to people shopping or
if you can hold them over 25,000, the guy wants. He really went crazy. 25,000.
What do you think's going to happen though when the eviction starts? What's going to happen?
People are going to get evicted.
You're going to see a larger tension.
You're going to see people getting really pissed off and burning people's shit down.
Oh yeah,
it's going to get crazy.
I had somebody pour concrete down our drains when we evicted them.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh man, there's an episode of Seinfeld where Jerry thinks this not a dry cleaner, but you go and you can wash clothes there like a laundromat. He thinks the laundromat guy fucking snagged him for like $1,000 cash he left in his jean pocket or something. So him and Kramer go back there and they pour cement into the washing machines and then turn it on. I was thinking, holy shit, that would work. That would fuck some shit up. Episode of Seinfeld where Jerry thinks the fucking laundromat guy fucked him over. So he goes back, him and Kramer with a big bag of cement, and they pour it in the washing machines. And think about it, that would fucking work, wouldn't it? That
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Not unless you'd have to know how much water. If you overwash it, the concrete's not going to set up.
it would still fuck up every
every
inner working of that machine.
But if you put it in more than one machine and you don't really want it to set up, what you want it to do is drip out into the drainage and then hit that last trap and settle in the bottom of it.
What would happen if you flush cement down your fucking
Dude, we literally have people pour fucking Quikrete down the fucking drain when we invade them.
Did it fuck it up?
Oh yeah, $12,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
They go to run a snake down there.
Pull them all out.
Jesus, how did you find out it was Quikrete? How'd you know? They just knew the drain people.
Yeah, well, no, they came over. We started taking some stuff apart. I mean, the first thing we noticed was obviously like the kitchen sink, you know. So he pulled the P-trap off. Couldn't get the fucking P-trap off. When they busted it out of there.
Couldn't even get it out. That's what I'm talking about. That you put it in washing machines, and even if it's overwatered, that paste is going to get out there and that drain and that pipe is going to settle.
Holy shit! It would fuck all kinds of shit up. It's like putting the old days sand and shit in people's fucking gas can or gas. Oh. These guys are 24/7 now telling us what's going on. They're trying to figure out how they're going to bring. They're saying there's going to be another attack. It's not.
Oh, it's no matter of if.
Yeah. It's going to be when. I got a big ass owner. I got a 12.5. I'm curious what mine's worth.
What?
My generator. I don't even think mine's 25,000, and his is a tiny little fucker. No, fuck no, man. Mine might be 15,000 tops.
You're talking about the generator on your home, on your motor, on your roller?
Yeah, that's what he had. It's the same. He's just got a much smaller one. I think he said his is a 5,500.
What year?
That I couldn't tell you. The RV is old. I will say this: he had pictures of it prior to the fire, and they really, I mean, it was old school. It looked like you walked into an episode of the Brady Bunch as far as, you know, decor. But it was fucking immaculate. It was clean as hell for being probably built 90, 95.
We still get a few of those again.
Oh, I cleaned our hot tub the last 3 days, so I got this fucking chemical that goes in there. Holy shit, man. I am not looking forward to draining this motherfucker and re-cleaning it. So the chemical goes in there, and it cleans out everything, man. I mean, it is fucking crazy how much shit's in there. It is fucking crazy. And our water's always spotless. You look at our water, you're like, oh man, he just filled it up the other day. You put this chemical in, it gets into those hoses and those jets, and all the fucking body fluids and sweat and fucking everything. Fucking hair, everything, man. All of a sudden, everything breaks loose. I'm like, fuck.
That's why I don't use fucking hot tubs.
Oh. I love our hot tub. Good Lord. I love our hot tub.
And it's even worse for women, man. There's a much more chance of infections and shit.
Yeah, I mean, public ones I agree with. But
This report is sponsored by your local.
I barely let her sit ours, to be honest.
What was your youngest?
19.
19.
How about you? Like 22?
21. Yeah.
How old's your kid? 30?
My kid is fucking 40 years old, man.
40? Holy shit.
82.
Yeah. I'm only 7 years, 82, yeah, I was born, no, 72, so 10 years, yeah, exactly.
82.
Fucking 80s.
Yeah.
It's the Labor Day.
I remember the 90s a lot. I don't remember the 80s for shit, to be quite honest. Shit, man. I was total battle with my parents every fucking day. Every fucking day. Kicked out. Oh, everything. Military school. I had no fun in the 80s. Or I had too much fun, I guess. You could look at it that way.
Are you youngins?
You remember when old Dave Haglund, I had this internet company, so we're going like 25 years ago, man. We had about 500-600 people pay us $20-30 a month for dial-up. Everything was dial-up modems. So it was all in our cyber cafe in this fucking closet. I mean, our entire internet was in this closet. And we had these battery backups that were fucking expensive as shit, man. Like 10 of them all daisy chained together. You could lose power for maybe, I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours. I don't know. This fucking fool, he plugged in this vacuum to it. And of course, the vacuum sucked so much power at once, it literally fucking killed the batteries instantly. Took out the whole internet company for a fucking, at least, I don't know. It took everything off air, man, everything. I couldn't believe he plugged into there. Of every place in the world to plug a vacuum into, he plugs into the fucking battery backup for the fucking internet. He looks good, man. Dave dropped big weight. 8 miles a day he walks now.
What does he weigh?
I bet he's down to
Like normal?
a little, yeah, like fucking close to normal, not
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Wow, this hour brought to you by Harris Law Firm. Harris Family Law to get you through a trying time. This is serious. If you're going through a divorce or think you will, why don't you contact Harris Family Law and ask them for an early neutral assessment where they'll walk you through what a divorce looks like from a neutral standpoint. Worst case scenarios, so you know what to look for. Now, of course, they're going to fight for you and help to make it go smoothly. They do collaborative law. You should really look into that. It keeps costs down and emotions down. HarrisFamilyLaw.com, 303-515-5000. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. Jeff Vick is with us from Kimmer Transmission. It is car day. We didn't have too many car issues, but we'll get to them. And we're going to talk about selling a car without getting ripped off. Right now, I just want to finish this up. Favor at Extreme Towing. Towed a burned-out RV. It was really totaled, right? They're going to get ready to crush it. So he starts removing stuff. The owner, Russ, and his wife, they want to move it out of there and get as much as they can off of it. So Favor even, not only did they tow it and store it for just $350, he said, I'll tow it anywhere you want where it's approved, free. When he towed it there were some things missing. Russ gets upset. Favor has an explanation. He's saying, look, we were removing the stuff. Right near the RV, the stuff is there. You can have it. You can have the generator and everything else we removed. Favor, we appreciate your time, Extreme Towing. One quick thing I want to mention.
You got it.
It's clear to us you didn't intend to rip this guy off with the charges you charged him and the charges you waived and with the removal of the stuff that was in plain sight. I'd like to know this. What about the other stuff he talks about? He sent me an email saying, what about my tools? He keeps talking about tools.
Right. Well, Tom, as I explained to him and I told everybody else, is we're no different than any other place. We have secured fences. Everything is gated here. Somebody apparently must have jumped the fence and stole his tools. He made a police report. I gave all of the information to the City of Aurora police officer that we had. And just I want to make sure one thing that you know, too. We are the police impound here for Adams County and also Aurora. This RV was impounded by the police department. It wasn't like a private tow. We're not one of those private companies. All we do is police stuff. So it was brought here. We're in the middle of Denver, and you know how crime is now everywhere. And they must have stole something out of him. They must have stole his tools. I did tell him, though, on that night that he called me, because he called me late at night. He was very upset, emotional, and I was very sympathetic. He even said he used to be a tow driver. He knows how this goes. I said to him, man, I'm really sorry. I really, really do feel bad for him. I said, look, if you need some tools, come down. I'll get you tools. He says, well, I can't work. I can't do anything. I said, and he told me, I paid you my last 300 and some bucks. I only have a couple $100 left. I said, look, Russ, and he was very emotional. And I said, look, Russ, if it's $300 is what puts you over the top, come and I'll pay you that. I'm not here to steal from this guy. What am I going to do with a burnt up RV? What am I going to do with a generator that looks partially damaged? But that's not my problem. That's not my issue. That's his. It's here. He texted me. He said that he was going to call me on Monday. I didn't hear anything from him. I had my guy call him on Tuesday. He never called us back. So I don't know what I can't chase after him.
Well, you can't do anything right now. What you're doing is enough. And listen, seriously. Right now, I think Russ just has to come to grips with the fact that even before he met you, he lost almost everything. Okay, and I think unfortunately,
it's terrible.
Excuse me, it is.
Hey, Tom, one last thing. Pardon me, favor. I did have a nice gentleman call that said if Russ wanted a pop-up camper, he had one. He'd give him for free. It's usable. It needs a little work. I'm just afraid Russ has no way of getting it around.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm going to talk to Century RV, really, to see if there's any possibility of getting him something and try to help him any way we can. So I don't know what else to do with this. I think we're done with it, really. I think we're done with it. Again, Russ, I'll give you a last word here. And I promise you, I'm not trying to give, I say this a lot with people because I don't want them to think when they call us for help, we want to give them a hard time. We want to get them justice, true justice. And also, sometimes that involves explaining to them where we feel they stand. So I'll give you a last word, Russ. Are you there? He may not be there. Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can
yes,
you hear me?
I sure can, Russ. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to say, sorry if I missed anybody's calls or anything. I did talk to Favors, and it's pretty much went the way he said it went. And this whole thing has been nothing but
yes, it's a lot of stress. A lot of stress.
But yes, really a lot of stress because I'm homeless now and I have nothing.
Right.
And but I'm not blaming Favor. There's nothing in the world I have that man would want from me. He's a rich man. I mean, so I don't blame him at all. And it's me and my wife don't drink or do drugs or anything. It was a freak accident that happened, and it's all accidental. And my insurance, I'm fighting with them, and I just don't have nothing.
As I remember, you did not have comprehensive insurance, or did you?
Well, I did, and the guy, that's a whole different story, man. He changed my policy. I have the original one, and I have the one they changed. Why they changed it, I don't have no idea.
And when they changed it, how did they change it? Did they remove comprehensive?
Yes. Yep.
Well, that seems strange. That seems strange. How much did that change save you?
Nothing. I didn't even know they changed it.
So one day, mysteriously, your comprehensive coverage is gone.
Yes.
Do they have to have something indicating you requested that?
Tom, I'm telling you the truth. I did not request nothing. I called and I put my wife.
How long before the fire did they change it?
I think I had it when I had the fire. It was when I put my wife on there as a driver in case something happened to me.
And they're saying at that time, when you put your wife on there, you also removed comprehensive?
Yes.
That's what. And when was that?
It was, a month, maybe a couple of months before the accident.
They're saying that's what you did. Okay, what kind of insurance was it, or is it?
I have a National General.
Okay. And who is your agent? Is it a national agent you talk to on the phone?
Yes. Yes.
You know, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. So you have a fire, and you call them, and then they look back and see that you had contact with them a month earlier and said, oh, by the way, you canceled your comp. They record all calls. Did you ask them for proof of that?
Yes, I did, and I have the paper. It's right there in front of me, but I'm not going to read it because it's really long.
What in essence are they saying? Do they have proof?
They said, it's right here.
You know what? This might be a good bad faith claim.
Yeah, that's what the attorney said.
You know what? This could be a bad faith claim. They're claiming that you canceled your comprehensive, and you swear to God you didn't. I want to see the letter of rejection, Suze. Have them. That's our next step.
It's not even like it's a real big claim, though. It seems kind of odd of all things to pick. I mean, we're not talking. What was the value of the motorhome? I mean, honestly, maybe what, 15, 20,000?
I don't know what he would have been paid. It's a good question, Russ. What do you think what do you think you would have been paid had your comprehensive been up to date?
Well, I just had it appraised at $30,000. It's
okay. Listen. Here's the deal. I want to see the letter of rejection. I want to see if you have a bad faith claim. Again, people might think, why are you messing with this guy? Because the guy is desperate. He lost everything. I'll give him grace.
There are many. About 30 seconds per spot. And the square.
I think he's. His wife said he's,
with how you sell online
not all there.
And how you take payments.
It's very emotional. This poor guy. I wonder where they're living. Do you remember? I'm sure we asked.
His son. You can spend more time seeing their bigger picture take shape. See how Square can help connect every side of your business by visiting square.com/go/connect. That's square.com/go/connect.
Let's not lose track of the fact that we are in a supply chain crisis right now all over the country with all goods and services. And I'm serious. I'm not trying to scare you. What I'm saying is, if you anticipate a furnace problem going into winter, why don't you get it checked right now? And if you need something, Fix It 24/7 has stocked up on parts, especially the electronic parts to keep your systems running. If you need a new system, and they would gladly quote it for you, it's as low as $77 a month for an HVAC system, and it goes from there. To find out more, all you have to do is call them, 720-526-3939. In real estate, we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how about a few $100, maybe $400 or $500, even if you pay $1,000 for complicated deals to get things looked at? It's well worth it. O'Brien Legal Services. That's a real estate firm we use as our expert on the show. And you can too. Just give them a call, ask your questions, free consultations, flat rate pricing, O'Brien Legal Services. It's olslaw.com. olslaw.com, 720-370-7388.
Often, when I look down at my watch, I'm reminded of one of my very first engagement ring customers at Williams Jewelers.
At Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
He's got it. And what did you do with all that money?
What money?
For the singing lessons.
Yeah.
The money.
What are you saying? My pitch wasn't exact?
Before you got down on one knee.
I want to buy that fucking software. What is that shit called? Perfect. Anybody can sing.
No, it is. It's cool.
We should get it.
I have it. It's Auto-Tune.
Auto-Tune.
There's all different ones.
What is yours connected to? So you got your mic, then it goes into what, a board, or is it into your computer?
Well, there's two kinds.
How does it apply the
There's
effect?
two kinds. You can have one right on the mic, and that's kind of for live performance.
That's what I want.
Then they have ones that you apply, which is the best.
Yeah, I know. Even the one we have in here, you can apply in Adobe. Adobe, you can buy that plugin. But I'm saying for a live one where you could go out and sing.
You know what I do have, though? I should bring it in because I have it and it's gone to waste.
What is
a mic synthesizer. You can be a female voice.
Hello.
You can. It's the most. We just have a sit here.
You know what we could do? We could have a mystery guest each day. Whoever our real guest is, we make them talk through that just for a minute and see if people can guess it.
So it's just an interface. It's a mic synthesizer for everything. You can make it just like a robot. You know, that kind of.
Can you make Jeff sound educated?
Yeah, no problem.
Technology wasn't that good.
No, you'd have to give him something to read to make that work, but then he can't read. I don't know you that well, Jeff. I'm just melting.
You obviously good security.
Okay.
These are signs of widespread pipe
Grew up poor.
How about Steve Martin? I grew up before Black Child. I like when he goes out.
He's out hitchhiking in front of the house.
He finally gets a ride. The guy drops him off at the end of the mailbox. I love that movie, man.
God, he was so good.
God, he is good. You realize that dude can really play the banjo like nobody's fucking business?
He's just so funny.
I was born to poor Black Child.
I'm in the phone book.
These oil cans are exploding. The guy's shooting at him.
Hi, this is Kelsey Brown. When military service members head into battle.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I haven't watched The Jerk forever, man.
Is that what it was, The Jerk?
Yeah, so he creates his thing to pull your glasses on and off, and then it makes everybody cross-eyed, so he gets sued.
Just like everybody who comes up with something quick, like on the one with Jim Carrey and the one with Kevin Hart, who got rich selling the poop evaporator.
Oh, the poop evaporator.
You spray it on
a turd that disappears.
Well, what he did, and then he got extremely rich. What he didn't realize is that there was a 120-day period it would all come back. So he gets extremely rich. Then there's a crisis all over the city.
There's shit everywhere. I gotta watch that. I don't remember that. I love the premise, though. It's fucking great.
What movie was that? Kevin Hart.
I think it was Kevin Hart and Jim Carrey. I think it was those two. It might have been someone else but someone who's jealous. Hold on, we'll find it. And then
take the shortcut to your next great hire. When
movie.
you sponsor a job on Indeed,
about
match in
poop.
You just give it to him.
Whose resume is on Indeed.
Job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
In fact, it wasn't a movie.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Compass Insurance Group, home of the insurance checkup. Now, what that means is you will find out in one phone call, and then they'll call you back, of course. You tell them what you have. They'll tell you if you have great coverage or can get better at lower prices. I save money every time I do it. No charge. TheInsuranceHelpCenter.com. There's absolutely no reason not to do this. 303-996-9000. 303-996-9000. Let's keep going. All right, now, we have a lot happening. We're going to put Russ on hold, Suze, and we're going to get him back when he gives us the email showing his insurance denial, and we'll see if we can help him there. You need an attorney, Nick, for what? What's going on, sir? Nick? I'm going to put... Nick, are you there, sir? Okay, I'm just going to... sorry, I just don't have time for that. We have a mortgage refi here. Tom, what's happening with you? Tom, welcome.
Hey guys, I just we did a refi and we closed in June, and this is my 5th house, and I've done refis in pretty much all of them. Anyway, we've got a loan servicer, right?
Yeah.
But then I just got a notice this week that the loan's been bought out by Fannie Mae.
Before it's been closed?
No. It is closed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But in all these houses, all of my experience with owning houses, the company that services is also the one that owns it.
No. In fact, more than not, it is not that way. The one who services it is not the one who funds it or keeps it funded.
Okay.
Normally, it's Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or some other big bond fund, and then the servicer simply makes a little spread for servicing it. But it's it's transparent, or I should say seamless to you, because you don't get charged on top of anything. You get charged what your Truth in Lending said you would be charged, and they divvy it up.
But I've never, I guess I never knew that. I never got notification until just now, this week that it was bought out. But isn't Freddie Mac kind of for sketchy loans, high-risk loans?
No, not at all. Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
Just the opposite. I don't.
Excellent.
Yeah. No. And really, that you know what Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae are? They're mortgage. They're bonds.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's the federal government. I mean, they sell securities.
Loans.
Now, mortgage securities can be sold by anyone, but these mortgage securities are more safe. So that's what's going on. And really, let's take a lender like Ideal. We always say they're a direct mortgage lender. And Ideal Home Loans is a direct mortgage lender. So when they close, they will, with their line of credit or the money in their bank, they will pay off your loan and fund your loan. If you have cash coming back, you get the cash. And for a split second or a little longer, Ideal has that money missing from their account. And they own that loan. Then they go and place that loan on the open market, usually to someone else. And that's how it works. And almost no mortgage lender who says they're a direct lender holds the actual paper for more than a week.
No, but the ones they usually sell to, they'll usually use their underwriting criteria. So when Ideal goes to sell it and they think they're most likely going to sell yours to XYZ, they go with that criteria.
Yeah, and better than that is that usually they're all in line with the same criteria because they don't want to be an odd man out unless it's very specifically a high-risk loan or something like that. Now, there are pools that specialize in high-risk loans. Now, why would someone buy a bond in a high-risk loan pool?
Bigger return.
Exactly. The more the risk, the more the return.
And a direct lender like Ideal in any of them, there's another thing that can happen sometimes. We're so far off topic, but to me this stuff is very interesting.
I think it's educational for sure.
So you have to make sure that whoever you sold it to makes a certain amount of payments on time for, say, 4 or 5 months. If that does not happen, the criteria is broken, and they could be stuck with that loan.
That's true. So a lot of times, with brokers, for example, if a broker exaggerates to get a loan through, see, a broker's not funding that loan, but they are gathering the information, processing it for the underwriter, and closing it. The underwriter funds it, then the underwriter either keeps it or sells it, but whatever, that mortgage broker makes a commission or a spread, but they only make it if certain conditions are kept. For example, as Mark said, if they're a first payment default, you get nothing. Sometimes you have to be there 4 months for them to get paid, or it has to yield a certain amount. They can't refi for a certain amount of time. So depending on the loan underwriter, there are certain rules that you have to follow to get paid as a broker. 303-713-TALK is our number. Of course, you can call 303-MARTINO 24/7, 303-629-84. No, now all of a sudden I forgot the actual number. 303-MARTINO. Wow. 303-627-8466.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to say it quickly.
It's your name.
846. Yeah, 303-MARTINO. But by the way, that number, we will call back if you leave a number for us, and we will get through. So if you're listening to a recording, we will answer that, and you don't even have to wait because we'll call you back. Now, one thing we have to mention, the eviction moratorium is lifted. We're going to see drastic ramifications. The Supreme Court said the CDC did not have authority. Just did not have authority to do it. As a result, people who now are behind in rent can be evicted unless they pay up. And you're going to start seeing evictions probably as soon as tomorrow. People have to get filed and all that. You have to give people notice. But what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Because if you're a landlord, what are you going to do? Would you forgive the past at all? Now, let's assume, for argument's sake, we're not talking about people that have just been devastated by COVID. No one truly who was devastated by COVID. But let's say you are not and have been not collecting rent for more than a year. Is that tenant out? And then what happens? Because I wonder, when another tenant comes knocking on your door, or potential tenant, what happens? Because most likely they left the landlord in a lurch. Will you rent to someone who just got out of a situation?
I wonder what you could do.
You want a couple tickets to the Broncos tomorrow? You know anybody, Tom, that could use them? I don't want to go. Susan's offering me some. I don't know. I can't go.
Is it in the booth?
It's preseason.
No, but is it in their booth, in the iHeart booth?
I don't think iHeart's got a booth. Yeah, I don't think they have a booth. At Coors Field, they might have some.
God, they used to have so much. There was so much.
Yeah, Chet, as long as he goes.
Envy, Ben Stiller, and Black. Jack.
Oh, I love Jack Black.
Ben Stiller and Jack Black.
Yeah,
those
and
boys
here
are
I'm
crazy.
thinking Jim Carrey and
You're not even. Yeah, you're in a whole different world.
My God,
Smart.
you can't even get.
Game. What's that mean?
Oh, hey,
It
Cammy,
means
I'm
that
still
when
on
you
the air
want
for a little bit. Hold on a
undeniably
second. I
delicious
can step
spicy
out for a
nuggets,
minute.
you want Wendy's because nothing else compares. Get your Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets now at participating U.S. Wendy's.
So let's talk about Granite Liquidators. If you're looking for countertops or showers or maybe some wainscoting in the library and you want to use stone, whether it be granite, quartzite, marble, or anything else you can find in a slab, Granite Liquidators will sell to you at wholesale prices. That means the same price as contractors pay, you pay. And that's for real. So you go to 5075 Tabor Street at that yard, you walk the yard, you pick what you want, they put your name on it, and hold it there for you until you're ready. It's really wise for you to buy the stone first, because stone is semi-permanent, right? You can decorate around it. And that's what they recommend you do. And they have everything to get you started. GraniteLiquidators.com for all your natural stone. The slab will be put aside for you. And then you can be well on your way to hiring and do whatever you want. Send your contractor, go by yourself, or go with your contractor and make your appointment. GraniteLiquidators.com.
Bridgewater is a new fiction podcast starring Supernatural's Misha Collins.
Team Melissa Ponzio and Castle's Nathan Billion. It's a place closer than you think and far stranger than you can imagine, where monsters roam freely, where the past doesn't stay buried, where you never know what's lurking around the corner.
I think there's a lot that we don't know about. Monsters.
This is the letter.
Witchcraft. This is a strange place. This part of the country.
Listen to Bridgewater on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Meet Patrick Peterson, owner of a Denver coffee shop. Business was normal until a coffee critic called it the best specialty coffee in the country. It was time to scale up. So he turned to his American Express Blue Business Cash Card, which lets him earn 2% cash back on
Hey, we're off air.
Kill the air. Literally off the air.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I'm looking at this letter of rejection that Russell got. By the way, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Get your calls in. We have plenty of time. Russell, so your RV fire, I don't want to go through all the pain and misery of the tow yard and all that and how we recovered your stuff, but bottom line is this: did you have coverage or not? Comprehensive coverage would have covered this for a fire, and you could have gotten paid. You got a rejection letter that looks to me a lot like a form letter. Now, how do you have a form letter for a rejection? That's weird. Like, so the question is this, Russ. Do you have, did you respond to them after this rejection letter?
To the insurance?
Yeah.
No, I haven't talked to them. I've been, no.
Okay. The date of loss was when, the fire?
On July 8th.
Of this year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think that we need to write a letter to these jerks, or you do, and kind of scare them a little. And if I were you, I would write a letter that says something like, hey, there's nothing wrong with me helping you write a letter. This is not legal advice, but I would say to them, I disagree. I remember having full coverage. Oh, by the way, finished that. I remember having full coverage. Therefore, I'd like to know the date, time, and manner in which I canceled my comprehensive. Please provide it. If not, tell me who can accept service for bad faith insurance lawsuits, bad faith lawsuits at your firm or whatever. Now, here's what I want to know, though, Russ. To add credence to your argument, do you have a policy showing at one time you had comprehensive coverage?
Yes, I'm sure that it is on my phone somewhere because they send me that package.
Yeah. And, this is our next important mission, Russ. I need to see a previous policy, just previous to the fire, as whatever you can show me that showed you did have comprehensive at one time. Because my argument would be, why did I cancel comprehensive? Why did I do that? I just suddenly called in and canceled it. That doesn't make sense.
I never did. Yeah. I would never do that.
Well, here's the thing. If they say you never had it, they don't have to prove anything. However, if you do have it, they would have to show that you specifically canceled it.
Right.
So they're not denying you're insured with them. They're just saying that you did not have comprehensive coverage or medical payments at the time of loss. Why did they mention medical payments? Were you trying to collect on medical payments?
No.
Okay. Well, this all sounds very weird to me. It really does. And it sounds like they're screwing you around.
Yep.
So do me a favor and look through your phone as much as you can. I need to see if you ever had comprehensive listed on your declarations page. That's what it's called. That summarizes your coverage. It's called a deck page or declarations page. And if you did have it, our argument's going to be, why was it canceled? When was it canceled? How was it canceled? And I would make them show each and every item because they're supposed to keep track of all of that. So everyone listening, remember that. Any changes in coverage, you document and you keep your policies and keep your insurance identifications and all of that. It's not, I do not think it's below insurance companies to have claims adjusters or people working in claims to try to keep their claims down by denying coverage like this, by simply saying, oh, we're sorry, you were never covered. You were never covered. And then they wait to see, because they wait to see. See, here, listen how carefully this is worded. We have concluded our investigation of this matter, right? And have also reviewed the applicable policy and underwriting information. Unfortunately, Russell so-and-so did not have medical payments coverage for injury sustained or comprehensive coverage for the damage to the vehicle on the policy at the time of loss. We will therefore be unable to make any payments under this coverage. Now listen, this is where it gets tricky. If you believe that there are other facts or documentation that would assist us, please let us know. What they're saying is, you know what? We're taking a stab at denying you to see what you have. That's really, if you really look, that's insurance code for we screw first, ask questions later. That's what they do. We screw first, ask questions later. Then they say, we welcome the opportunity to assist you. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. So the question's going to be, in what way, shape, or manner did I cancel that? Because I had it before. Now that's if you can prove you had it before. And then also, if you can't show me when I canceled it, then let me know who would take service for bad faith litigation or a bad faith lawsuit. That'll get their attention. It's too bad we have to do battle, isn't it? But unfortunately, insurance companies are made to screw people. They are. I mean, I feel bad when I talk about it, because I know that there are people listening probably in the insurance industry.
You know, it goes a little deeper than that, and you know that and I know that, so I'm going to let everybody else know it. There's a lot of agencies out there that represent a lot of different companies, and unlike Compass Insurance and the ones on our referral list, they cater directly to the insurance companies.
Right.
They could care less about their customer, because here's a little secret. How do agencies get paid, Tom?
From insurance companies.
That's right.
Commissions. Now, Compass makes its money like that too, but they are consumer-centric. They are client-centric.
Remember that one company we met with? When we left that meeting, both of us, our jaw
seething.
dropped.
We were seething. We met with an insurance agent who wanted to advertise with us, much like Compass does. And, you know, he mentioned he hated that one commercial by Liberty Mutual that says, insure only what you need or buy only what you need or something. He said, we believe we know what you need better than you do, and the insurance company knows what you need better. And then his theory was a lot of people don't know what they need, which could be true. But and then he said he had an obligation when problems came in to decide them for the insurance companies.
He hated
consumers, basically.
He also hated public adjusters.
Right.
He thought they were the worst things ever.
Yeah, and that tells me, what do you mean? Why would you hate a public adjuster? So these guys were had their heads so far up insurance companies' asses that I would never use them, ever. And I even, Mark, it's not that I don't want to mention them. I forgot the name of the agency.
I did too. We took a little hell because they were offering a lot of money. And I'll put this out there to iHeart. And you looked iHeart right in the eyes and said, what am I supposed to do? I can't. How do I possibly represent these guys?
Yeah, they're telling us that they don't care about consumers and they're in it for the insurance company. So how do we advertise that? You know, line up, bend over, you know. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up.
He was an amazing piece of shit. He was an asshole. He was also very, he knew everything.
Remember, I walked out of the meeting.
Yeah, I know.
I said, I basically said, fuck you.
It was
you know nothing.
Jeremy his jaw dropped when you left.
And Hiram, right?
There wasn't much pieces to clean up. Usually I clean up some pieces, but I'm like, what this guy, this is the craziest shit I ever seen. There's no match here. A consumer advocate's going to advertise for anti-consumer people? I mean, it's insane.
Well, you were talking about an insurance company. We already know that they are a functional paradox to start with. So how do you expect you can get
Let
it
it protect you, but if you lose money that your house isn't,
yeah. I mean, they thought
you got 888 heating.
They thought you were the same thing they were.
Is that the only one?
Yeah.
To host this season. Oh, we're not even on the air. So all these are maintenance.
At Lowe's.
All right, check it out, 888heating.com. These guys have one of the best offers out there right now. Check it out, write it down, don't fall over. Ready? Here we go. You get a brand new air conditioner, a brand new furnace, a whole home humidifier, 5 years, no interest. 5 years to pay, no interest, all starting at $8,500. I know it's hard to believe. Call for details, 888heating.com.
Hi, I'm Craig, a paramedic and proud Coloradan. Too often throughout this pandemic, we've been limited in what we can and can't do because of the virus. Now with the vaccine, we have the freedom to choose not to be dragged down because of COVID anymore. I understand people have questions, but the vaccine is powering our comeback. Our local businesses are being revived, and people are out in the community enjoying their lives like they should. It's easy to get the vaccine, and it's our ticket out of this. Let's all come back better than ever.
This was supported by the CDC. Its contents are solely the responsibility of CDPHE.
If you've been hurt, you want a legal team that puts you first. That's Bell & Pollock. Hi, it's Mandy, and after getting to know these guys, I'm confident that you and your case will be taken care of and treated the right way by Bell & Pollock. They've been helping injured Colorado families for over 30 years, and they're just really nice guys. Get the right representation you can feel good about with Bell & Pollock. Call them at 303-795-5900. That's 795-5900, or visit championsofthepeople.com.
Hello, this is Bill Lamphere, General Manager at Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village, the #1 Lexus dealer in Colorado. We just received 2 truckloads of special Lexus vehicles from the U.S. Open golf events in California. RX 350.
Got busted for the chick up here. Remember? Oh, the chick. The chick that said she raped him and all that.
Well, she said up the ass.
Yeah, but then, she had like four samples in her already from that night. But anyhow,
Of others?
Yes, of others.
No.
Yes! You don't remember that? She went down to get a rape kit, and they're like, well, which one?
Kobe didn't take that. That was trying to take Kobe.
Oh, big time. No, all the charges were shit, man. That was,
but
listen,
also a settlement.
But that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is he's talking to the press about it, and they're all talking about just the infidelity part.
But he truly wasn't.
And he throws Shaq under the bus. He goes, Shaq sleeps with different women every week. Why are you guys getting on me for one time? And Shaq got fucking pissed, man. And that's when they didn't talk for a fucking long time. That's some fucked up shit.
Who was it? Green? Who was the one that said they slept with?
10,000. Magic Johnson. He did too.
No, it wasn't. Will fucking Chamberlain, one of those old guys that said that. It was somebody. It was one of those old guys.
Magic, dude. I could have. That was the old joke, what the Magic stand for? Mascot, effective coach.
Yeah, I heard that one too. But no, Magic wasn't the one that was playing.
He got AIDS though, right? Yeah. He got lucky. He had money when he got AIDS. His ass is in good shape. Like, no shit.
Well, now with the suppression drugs, it'll never come out.
No. But I'm saying when he got it, you better have some fucking money.
That's a terrible disease.
I'll tell you the other one that's fucked up is that Hep C medication. You can go get that shit cured now, but it's what, $30,000 or some shit?
I got a shot that's $3,400 a shot.
My aunt was one of the first ones to get that.
The Hep C shit, and it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it worked. She was, but she didn't have to pay for it. She was picked up by the University of Iowa.
Oh, so once that runs out, that shit'll be, $8 eventually.
I got to go over 2 items.
It's kind of like that, man. Poor people can't get rid of that shit. The insurance company, they'll say, no, we won't give it to you because we can treat it with this. We don't have to cure it for you because we can treat it. And it won't affect your lifespan. It's some fucked up shit. What gets me more than anything, though, is when you can get antibiotics and shit in fucking Mexico, and I mean real shit, not counterfeit bullshit, for fucking a tenth of the price. That drives me insane, man.
Where's that? In Mexico?
In Mexico or Canada. Pretty much anywhere. And they go, well, we got to charge the U.S. the R&D.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TOM.
713-8255. All right, so the big deal, the eviction moratorium, I want to hear Monday from landlords on what they're going to do about it and if it will have ramifications. Now, you notice the Supreme Court did not preclude Congress from making a law. Didn't they even hint that if Congress did make a law, that might be a different story. But right now, there was no statutory authorization, right?
That's exactly
Authority.
right. It's crazy because if you think about it, they basically said, hey, we're going to give you a couple months before we actually overturn this thing to have Congress do something. And, of course, Congress didn't do anything, and you know why. These moderate Democrats, let's not forget, Congress controls everything right now, or the Democrats do in Congress. The moderates would never. What are you going to go back to you're going to go back to your people in South Jersey and say, hey, all that rental property you have, those people don't have to pay, and I just voted for that. They'd never get reelected. So Congress will never pass anything like that ever.
So anyway, the evictions you can bet are going to be starting. And I know we're going to be getting the calls, and people are not going to know what to do. I just don't know what's going to happen because I don't relish the thought of people being homeless. Of course, I think a lot of people deserve it. The people that went out and bought the boats and took vacations and screwed their landlord, there has to be a ramification to that. Anyway, Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmission, says parts are a problem. Get your car fixed if you can and get it fit. Don't wait. But what are some of the, how about normal stuff like brakes and brake systems, pads, and that kind of thing, and oil changes, oil filters, that kind of stuff? Yes?
Filters are actually a big problem.
Really?
They are a really big problem.
What?
We'll see them back ordered or low stock in batches in particular sizes, particular makes, particular models. They're starting to try to catch up, but it's to the point now where if you have regular use where you use a particular part number and you see it become available, you don't buy one, you buy 10 just so you can have it because it might not be there tomorrow.
Wow. So in any case, the oil filters, and what about brakes and pads so far?
They're not quite as bad as things like the filters and the solenoids.
Are there things all over, though, hit and miss?
Yes. 100%. If you need 12, if I need 12 parts, I can typically find 9, and then I'm searching for the other 3.
Because you can't close up the transmission if you need 3 parts.
Exactly.
Is there any talk about, like overcharging? Like, do some places that have parts?
It's not a matter of overcharging right now. We're paying on a regular basis every day. We're paying more than we were the day before. Since the beginning of the year, just on oil alone, I've received 3 price increases. We've had probably anywhere between 3 to about 13% increase on the average cost of parts.
Okay, so that's with autos. Now we know what's happening with homes. We know what's happening in every part of homes: plumbing, heating, cooling, electric drains. Have you heard about that? I didn't hear that firsthand. Flooring?
Oh, flooring, big time.
Did Buddy Mitchell say anything?
Buddy Mitchell said if you want flooring put in by Thanksgiving or Christmas, you better order it now because everything's like 6 weeks, man. Everything.
Now, I hesitate to say this. I don't like causing panic. But are we going to have supply chain problems with food? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You know what?
Well, to some extent, we're already starting to see some supply chains with food. If you go over to King Soopers, particularly in the meat section, a lot of that stuff's gone. You see little spots.
See that.
Yeah, you'll go over, and next thing you know, next thing you know, it's the salsa. Next thing you know, it's rice. It's all over.
You'll love this. So California passed. It doesn't kick in, I think, till next year, maybe 2023. So if you don't slaughter pigs a certain way, okay, you cannot sell that meat in California. So all these people that sell bacon...
What is it about pigs that they want done?
Well, I don't know if they're going to move on to other things as well. I don't know. I don't even know how people slaughter pigs. But my point is, bacon in California is going to be about triple what it is in any other state. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, it's not just a matter of how they slaughter them.
California is going to go down in history as how not to do a state. Anything that can be done wrong, they're doing in California because they're tripping over themselves, trying to be politically correct and good on all fronts.
Well, I think this Newsom character is going to be. I think he's going to get ousted.
It's not just him. I mean, this state, and listen, what usually happens in California, it's not too much longer that we start copying it.
What were you saying, though, Jeff?
It's not just how they slaughter them. It's how they actually keep them. They have to have a certain amount of square footage while they're raising them.
Well, okay. Now, if it's for cruelty and all that, I'm for that.
It's the only state, Tom.
I understand that. But I think California goes way overboard. And that's
private masseuse?
No, that's the problem. We are having a ton of problems that are going to be amplified again, what happens in California usually sweeps the country. And in any case, Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmission, if you need to get a hold of him,
best guy,
303-693-1400. He's at Arapahoe and Jordan, and in that general area, you'll find him, 303-693-1400. Transmissions, Denver.com. Are we off?
Stay connected with all of us
at 630 KHOW,
KHOW.com,
and on the iHeartRadio app.
Michael Brown is next
on Denver's Talk Station,
630 KHOW.
The Tree Farm's 50-cent tree sale is going on now. This is our biggest sale of the year with thousands of carry-out-sized trees that are easy to handle and easy to plant. While supplies last, buy the first tree at regular price and mix or match a second tree for only 50 cents. Thousands of shade trees, flowering trees, fruit trees, evergreen trees, ornamental trees, and more. Also, huge savings on shrubs and perennials. The 50-cent tree sale.
You
Come
take
see.
I-25 to exit 235, then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.